are the only company I trust to help you. For more than a decade, they have successfully helped over 20,000 owners get out of their timeshare with an A-plus rating at the Better Business Bureau. Customer service is their priority. For a free consultation and a guaranteed solution, 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Wednesday, it looks to me, based on reading and watching news coverage, that most national journalists are rooting for a conviction in the Trump hush money case. You're not supposed to root if you are a reporter, but that rule was shattered years ago. Now ideology dominates news coverage in America. If Donald Trump is convicted in the case, the country will be divided even further. Is that a good thing, NBC News? Over at CNN, the words, "Let's get this party started," come to mind. At Fox News, there'll be some frowns and head shaking to keep the customers satisfied, as Paul Simon once sang. So here's my trial take based upon an acute knowledge of Donald Trump and much experience with New York City, a liberal wellness spa. The former president told his former lawyer to deal with accusations that were clearly designed to harvest money just days before the 2016 election. Trump just wanted the thing to vanish. There is zero evidence he thought about campaign funding statutes. In order to convict, there has to be criminal intent. So, simple man that I am, I cannot see a conviction, but of course I could be wrong. If Donald Trump hatred runs deep among the jurors, emotional angst will override the lack of evidence. We'll all know shortly, but we already know the intent of the press, don't we? Back after this. You can now watch new episodes of the No Spin News live on Samsung TV Plus. Tune in each weeknight at 8 p.m. on the First TV for breaking news, honest analysis, and the best election coverage in America. Please join me, Bill O'Reilly, at the First TV, now available on Samsung TV Plus. Start watching today on your Samsung television, Galaxy devices, or the Samsung TV Plus mobile app. Check out the No Spin News each weeknight at 8 p.m. on the First TV, Samsung TV Plus. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom lovers. Kenny Williams.
Good morning, Vic, you mook.
You mook. He's a mook.
That is such a bad word to me.
Bad meaning.
If you say that
Badass.
to somebody.
Oh, no, I get it.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
that's what it is.
It's almost like the lowest common denominator.
It's totally a word that you're saying that's bad about somebody. And
you mook.
So we'll get into that right after the Pledge of Allegiance, because Robert De Niro did some press conference. The whole thing was stupid. And this guy was calling him a mook. And I was like, my God, I haven't heard the word mook in a long time. So that's that. That's coming up in just a second. That's Crap today. Very, very important edition of That's Crap, because we're going to discredit some people, including Robert De Niro, on some of the things that they've said. 941. A guy who, what is that venue that he's in? Is that a school board meeting? Kenny sent me a video of this guy.
Yes, it is.
School board meeting?
School board meeting, yes.
Reverend Stephen Kraft, 80-year-old black pastor who just tore the school board up.
I think it was a white private, or predominantly white private school.
I think you're right now that you've said that. He said, God made men and God made women, period.
Right.
So I can't wait to talk to him. He's coming up at 9:41. Tim Jones will join us at 10:05, and he talked to Ben Baker yesterday. He and Chris talked to Ben Baker yesterday. It was so emotional, and it's just, I don't want to hear it anymore, because it broke my heart, man.
Yeah.
He's got a daughter doing good, nothing but good for people, and she gets killed doing it.
Yeah, you had to listen to it though. I mean, it's important that Ben get that out for himself and the Lloyd family, his family.
Of course, it's just my heart.
It's just very hard. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah,
and let's find out what's happening with the Jefferson County Council, huh? Charles Groeteke, finally going to be on the show with us.
He's coming in actually.
That's perfect. He's been in the chat box for a long, long time, saying hi to us, saying hi to Mark Harder. When Mark's here, he's a good guy, and he'll join us to close up the show. All right, so let's get rolling here, because I got a lot of things I want to say. So who's doing the Pledge of Allegiance?
So from the Chesterfield Knights of Columbus, we're going to do Don Mueller.
Oh, I like that.
Well, it's a group.
Oh, I like the Don Mueller group.
Right.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don Mueller Group. They're going to be at Riverport this summer, I think, aren't they?
The Don Mueller Group.
Yeah. Okay. So the deliberations should be starting today, right? Because the prosecution did a marathon. I mean, a marathon closing argument yesterday. And obviously, if it were just a little bit fair, Donald Trump would be acquitted. We'd move on, win the election, and turn this country around, right? But it's not that way. And I swear to God, I don't know how people like Jonathan Turley, who I always feel like I have to say is no conservative, okay?
Right.
But he is a constitutional scholar, right?
Yeah.
Alan Dershowitz, no conservative by any means.
Who we've had on this show.
Yes, we have. And he can't believe some of the things he's hearing and seeing. Greg Jarrett, I mean, you name it. Any legal expert is saying that this judge is conducting this trial like a kangaroo court.
Susie Moore.
Susie Moore.
We have her on every Friday, and she said basically the same thing.
Yeah. So after this is all over, I just wonder, Ken, what are the ramifications for Dr. Judge Juan Merchan, or whatever the hell his name is?
Honestly, I don't care about him. I think that he is an example of what they're trying to do on the left. I think he's an example. The weaponization of the justice system here is just one example of what they're trying to do to our country. It's not about Donald Trump. This whole thing's not about Donald Trump. If Donald Trump walked in today and said, listen, I'm not running for president anymore, it would stop.
Yeah,
this
you're right.
would stop.
You're right.
It would be over, and then everybody'd say, okay, everybody, the other half of America, fall back to sleep now. Go back to sleep.
That's a great point, Ken, because what if he decided not to run again? What if he didn't win all those primaries? I mean, the will of the people is what the government is supposed to adhere to. The will of the people.
And that's another additional great point. The will of the people is being embattled
Yes.
by our government.
Yes. You know, I mean, the guy that more people want to be president is being hung out to dry in a courtroom, misdemeanors, jacked up to felonies somehow. I'm not sure we still know what the crime is. And, you know, this judge is like, I always go back to my cousin Vinny. It's almost the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
When Vinny lays out this long thing about surprise witness, and, you know, we didn't have any advance that he was coming, and, you know, so we can prepare to have somebody counter what he says. And the judge says, Mr. Gambini, that is a lucid, well thought out objection. Overruled. You know?
Right.
He went through all the things to say how great of an objection it was, but it was overruled. Not too far of what's really happening in real life.
No, exactly right. I just saw a video. I've been following it a little bit, but Javier Milei in Argentina.
MAGA.
Yeah, he's
make Argentina great again.
He really is. But my point on this is, now he's succeeded. He actually won. He's the president of Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
He's making these drastic changes right now. The Argentinian people, they are behind him 100%. He's making their lives better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are we just such wusses that we know that we need smaller government? We know that we've got to get the spending wrangled in.
Yeah.
We know it has to happen, but no one wanting to back anybody who steps up and says, okay, we're going to do that, but we need to do this in order to make that happen. And that means make cuts, do things that we need to do. No one wants that to happen, Vic. It's crazy. Trump even said, I'm not going to get rid of Social Security and Medicare. That is protected, but we've got to do something to rein in the spending. We have to.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Ken, but Millet cut the budget by 40% in like 90 days.
Oh, immediately.
It didn't take him long to do it all.
No.
I mean, we laugh about, there's this in the budget for the mating of turtles, how turtles, I'm like, what, really? Let the zoo pay for that.
Meanwhile, there are farmers on the West Coast who are not getting water. You know why? Because there's a certain fish that's in the water that they're not allowed to touch. So therefore, they cannot use the water. It's just some crazy regulations that they're putting in left and right. And this is this Biden administration behind the scenes doing regulations. The reason why I brought up Millet is because I saw the video of him walking out in front of, it looked like 1 million people. And they love him because of the work that he's doing. Trump had 4 years, and we love him for the work he did.
Yeah.
And now you've got the Democrat fascists right now. They have nothing to run on.
Right.
And all they're doing now is they're saying the most negative things about Trump. They're calling him, he is the incarnation of Hitler.
Yeah. And they call him fascist, and they're the fascists. It's Ed Stoit. We've been saying that phrase, Ed Stoit, for 3 years.
Yeah.
Everything Democrats say, the opposite is true.
Right.
And I know it sounds so vague, so general, but it's true. Everything they say, the opposite is actually true.
Anything they say, I know is complete opposite.
Even Jim Brewer says so. So, and by the way, Bongino said that almost word for word, right?
The golden rule of listening to Democrats, which is whatever they say, the opposite is true.
Are you kidding me? He's got to stop listening, stealing our stuff. But, I say that because it's funny, but he understands. He gets it.
Yeah.
He watches,
Yeah.
And he said everything Democrats say the opposite is true, like we've been saying.
I really believe, to your point there, I really believe what they say is we have nothing to run on, everybody, okay? We have nothing to run on. So now what you have to do, instead of saying, we know that the economy sucks and there's a lot of inflation, okay, go out there and say the economy's great.
Yeah.
And then inflation, it's going down.
We inherited 9% inflation.
Yeah, we
from the
inherited,
previous
and now look
administration.
what we're doing. He's doing things that no one has ever done in the history of presidencies.
I can't. So,
You can, Vic.
no, I can't do
No,
it.
you can,
Oh,
Vic.
okay. So yesterday, Robert De Niro, who, by the way, we forgot that the judge has to give the jury their instructions before they deliberate.
Oh, okay.
So I don't even know if they'll get the case by the end of the day today, because closing arguments took 9 hours. Who knows how long this guy's going to go? I mean, if he wants to stay true to what he's doing this entire trial, he's going to say, "Okay, jury members, thank you very much. Make sure you get in there and convict Trump and come out in a couple minutes."
Well, yeah. Also, don't they have to have a preview of what Robert De Niro just said yesterday before they go in and deliberate?
Why would they do that?
Oh, just because that's the way they would want it, probably.
Oh, I see. Yeah, to influence their vote.
Yeah.
So Robert De Niro showed up with a mask on, by the way.
Oh, that would look so bad.
Outdoors with a mask on.
So bad.
And he shows up for a press conference. Robert De Niro is holding a press conference, by the way, with the two Capitol Police cops who testified against Trump in the January 6th committee hearing.
Why were they there?
Because, Ken, it all comes back to January 6th, okay? When he said, first of all, let's listen to some of Robert De Niro trying to speak yesterday. He was getting shouted down by a lot of people, including some fat guy from Pennsylvania who was calling him a mook, which I absolutely loved. But listen to this, and then we'll come back and talk a little more.
And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave.
What?
He will never leave.
All right, stop.
He will never leave.
How stupid of a statement is that? The left, the elite left, look at us as rubes and hillbillies, right?
Yeah.
And stupid, uneducated
I can
people.
tell them anything and they'll believe it.
Yeah, like he just told them.
Yeah.
He'll never leave. Really? He'll never leave?
It's called fear porn.
90-year-old Trump's going to be roaming around the White House like Joe does now? You know, got to continue.
You know that. He will never leave. What does that mean? Is that the country we want to live in? Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for
It's not
life?
aggravated, he gets.
I hope this new ad campaign reaches outside the bubble to remind supporters of what a danger he is to our lives. This is not a threat. This is a reality. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president.
Listen right here.
Really. We don't have a choice.
The video is so funny.
Okay. There's also a point where he says that Donald Trump will destroy New York City.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Eric Adams and whoever the idiot was before him have already destroyed New York City.
Yeah,
So don't worry
done.
about it.
Yeah,
It's
don't
done.
worry about that. Yeah.
Then he says he'll destroy our country, right?
Right.
By making people be able to afford groceries and medicine and gas. But that's just terrible. Just destruction of America.
Destruction.
And wait, destroy the world.
Yes,
So
he did say that.
He said destroy the whole
world. Yeah.
So like Donald Trump is going to set off this little nuclear bomb in his office and light it, and the whole world's going to blow up.
Do you know what we're seeing right now? We're seeing desperation.
Oh, complete desperation.
The left wing, the Democrat fascists, everybody that we're talking about right now, the celebrities, all of them, they have nowhere to go. They're backed in a corner. What do they come back out with? Russian collusion.
Right.
Trump is Hitler. You're going to die. If you go in a voting booth and you hit Trump, it'll explode.
You're voting for your own death.
No, it's going to explode. There are charges.
It's a
behind
nuclear
his
voting
name,
booth
behind his name.
So while he's trying to talk, while Robert De Niro is trying to talk, people are yelling at him, you know, and he's yelling back and pointing. And he did something that was really interesting. He pointed at them and moved towards them like he was going to do something, and all his handlers just held him back. He's a real tough guy when he knows somebody's going to hold him back.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
Robert,
can I preface this by saying, before you talk about it, I didn't get the clip audio because it was too much profanity.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Mook is the easiest, nicest word.
Right.
So he's calling them gangsters, right? These people who are protesting his little press conference, whatever it was. And he thinks, here's the thing, okay? He thinks he is one of the gangsters that he has played in the movies. He thinks he's as tough as the gangsters that he's played in the movies.
Which I don't understand, because when he was yelling back at the people who were yelling at him, all these people were yelling at, "You're all gangsters.
Right.
You're all gangsters." Well, he made all of his money as being a gangster.
Well, playing a gangster.
Right.
Not being a gangster.
Okay, playing.
They are gang. You're the people I played in movies.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah,
I played you're gangsters. You know those people I played? You're them.
Okay.
Because he's an idiot. Okay?
Yeah.
So thank goodness Robert De Niro saved the world.
It's amazing what they're saying right now. We've got to look through all this stuff because it's actually entertaining to me.
I think he went as far as you can go.
You can't.
Donald Trump is going to destroy the world.
That's why I said that radical thing about explosives being in the voting booth. That's it. That's the next step. That's all they've got.
All right, listen, very, very important event announcement coming your way today. Today, Wednesday, right? Yeah. Coming your way today at 4:20 with Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Don't miss it. You're going to want to hear it. Major event announcement today at 4:20. Up next, the edition of That's Crap of all editions of That's Crap. That's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Follow us on Rumble at NewstalkSTL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Say it with me. Say Broadway.
Read the poll, Jack.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and NewstalkSTL.com.
Can I just say one quick thing about this music we're listening to? The song's called The Rock Chopper by Powder Blues. This was the theme song for the blues show that I had in college on Saturday afternoons from noon to 3. This was the song that brought it in and talk about what we're going to play and stuff.
Good choice.
Good theme song.
Oh,
music,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Powder Blues, they're excellent. Okay. Even though the Democrats don't think you do have a Second Amendment right to bear arms and protect yourself and your family and your property. So Southern Armory knows that. They're the Second Amendment leaders in this region that we live in. And they've got a great selection of handguns, rifles, even shotguns, and all from the best manufacturers. The staff there, a couple things about it. They know a really lot about these guns and whether you're going to be going in and getting your first firearm or whether you're an experienced shooter. These people know what they're talking about. They're knowledgeable, but that's not enough, okay? In my opinion, that's not enough. They also do it without condescending to you. They're not going to make you feel bad or stupid, okay, if you've never purchased a gun before. So get in there to Southern Armory, check out the wide selections of ammo, gear, and accessories, and find out what exactly is going on with firearms and how you can protect yourself. Plus, they have Wise food buckets at Southern Armory. That's 25-year shelf life and cheaper than you can buy them online. Take those with you when you go. Go down to 9901 Watson Road to Southern Armory. They're at southernarmory.com, southernarmory.com.
News Talk STL, always streaming on your smart speaker, our mobile app, or newstalkstl.com.
Are you even thinking about getting new windows? Tim Jones here to tell you need to call Window World. They're simply the best for less. 314-993-1800. One of only 2 window companies in the country that carry the coveted Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Carrying a lifetime warranty covering all parts, glass breakage, and labor. Incredibly durable, incredibly beautiful, incredibly thermally efficient. For the first time ever, Window World offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. Any questions? Free in-home estimate, 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800, windowworld.com, windowworld.com.
Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
All your hard-earned tax dollars and mine are going to fund illegal aliens who come across the border penniless, jobless, skillless, and they're given a cell phone, an identity, and a cash stipend every month.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
That beats your Social Security income if you should have the good nature to work your ass off your whole life and retire.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
Brought to you in part by Modern Weapon Systems in Fenton.
This National Center for Public Policy update brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
After I signed the PACT Act into law,
Crack-a-lackin', you are speaking my crack-a-lackin' language.
the PACT Act in
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Okay. Welcome to it. 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Did you say Franco is on the phone? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Franco.
No, it's Mike.
Oh, Mike-o. How you
Mike.
doing? Mike, how are you?
Oh, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Fine. Just make stuff up.
Yeah.
Hey, I was like listening to Mike Ferguson this morning, and they have a request for you that I thought I'd relay if they hadn't, because I want to hear it too. And that is to see if you can take De Niro's script from yesterday and see if you can do a better De Niro than De Niro.
Got it. You know what? Challenge accepted.
Pretty bad.
Challenge accepted. I can't do it right this second because I got to think about it.
Yeah, you got to get the words
Get
down.
my face going.
Oh, get that face. Yeah.
Yeah.
And destroy the world.
Because if he doesn't have Scorsese or Francis Ford Coppola
You're right.
telling him how to do it, he can't.
He can't do it. Right,
right,
Mike.
Mike.
You got it.
Yep.
God, he's a mook is what he is. He's a mook. Mike, thank you so much. Challenge accepted. We'll try to get to it by the end of the show.
All right.
All right. That's funny.
That'll be good. That's a good little. We didn't. You know what? I feel bad because we didn't think about that.
We should have thought about that.
He's got the face going right now.
You got to do the face.
You got to. You can't do it.
There it is. There's the De Niro face.
Right there.
All right.
All right. So which one do you want first?
Okay. So first is Bill Maher, the Megyn Kelly show.
Okay.
Second is on talking about Trump, and the last one is Bill Maher on Trump. Okay. We had rehearsal last night, but I couldn't make it.
I lost the sheet of paper that I was supposed to.
That's what it is. Okay. Anyway, it's time for everybody's favorite game show. It's my favorite game show.
Right.
I hope it's America's favorite game show. It's called That's Crap. I don't know how you do it, Ken.
Welcome to That's Crap. It's the game where we find out if it's the truth or if that's crap. Here's the host of That's Crap, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Jim Monson, very much. Hey, studio audience, how you guys doing? You guys look great. Thanks for coming down. Okay, so as Jim said, That's Crap is the game where we find out if it's the truth or if that's crap, and where players compete for fabulous prizes. Did you bring in the fabulous prizes?
Oh, always.
Fantastic. So our one contestant is a so-called journalist. Keep in mind, he's really a comedian. You know, people like Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart cracks me up because he'll talk political. Then when he's in a debate with somebody who's a conservative, he'll say, "Hey, I'm just a comedian."
Right. Oh, yeah. Leave me alone.
Same thing with this guy. And we're learning more and more about him. His name is Bill Maher. He'll be going up against a true journalist, anchor, attorney, Megyn Kelly. So this is the conversation, and then we'll find out if Bill is telling the truth or if that's crap. Okay, Ken, put a few seconds on the clock and go.
Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
Wow. So, Bill, you're saying that Hillary Clinton did not call Donald Trump an illegitimate president? I'm pretty sure that's what he said, right? That's what he said.
That's what I heard.
I wonder who we can get to be our judge. How about a murderer? Do we have a murderer that we can have visit judge?
Well, we have a suicider.
A suicider. Hillary Clinton herself is our judge.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
I'll be damned. It looks like she did say exactly what Megyn Kelly said she said, which is calling Donald Trump an illegitimate president. So, Bill, I'm sorry, but that's crap. Crap.
There it is.
So
much I wanted to do there.
There's a lot. I'm sorry.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
So I'm sorry, Bill, but you're an ass. So I want to, Ken, I don't know what to do. Should we close up That's Crap and then come back and talk about?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So here's the thing. Bill's prepared statement is she came out before the sun came up. That's his prepared statement.
Right.
That Hillary Clinton came out before the sun came up to concede the election. And then Megyn said, and then spent the next 6 years calling him an election denier. I'm sorry, calling him a illegitimate president. And then he said, she never called him an illegitimate president. What? Bill Maher, with all his intellect and all his condescending talk that he says about Trump, never heard Hillary Clinton called Donald Trump an illegitimate president? Really?
I would say his perceived intellect, because that surprised me. That it shocked me to the point to where I'm like, wait a minute, this guy cannot be in that bubble. He cannot. He has to be a researcher, isn't he? Isn't Bill Maher a researcher?
He's got to be. He's got a show on HBO, right?
Obviously, it's not true, Vic.
He's got to be all intellect, all researched up the ass, right? But nope. He had no idea that Hillary Clinton called Donald Trump an illegitimate president. So I got some more things to say about this. But first, that's all the time we have for That's Crap.
This is Jim Modulin speaking for That's Crap, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman radio production.
Thank you, Jim Modulin. This is Vic Porcelli saying, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. So there's more.
Yeah.
There's more with this conversation between Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly. I think we'll hear it first, Ken, and then we'll talk a little bit more about him and some other people, one being Robert De Niro. So this is how he went on about Donald Trump.
I mean, you only get two choices.
That's right.
You get Donald Trump, a criminal, election denier who is going to transform this country into an authoritarian place like we've never seen before.
He's going to transform this place into an authoritarian country like we've never seen before. Ken, remind me, was Donald Trump president for 4 years?
Yeah, he was.
Did he turn the country into an authoritarian country?
No, he turned it into a great American country.
Did the next administration start turning it into an authoritarian country?
He continues to try every single day. It's not him. It's his whole administration being behind the scenes with Obama.
So Bill Maher thinks that Donald Trump is going to transform the country into an authoritarian country. Robert De Niro says that Donald Trump is going to destroy New York City, even though he lived in New York City and built skyscrapers and put people to work for 30 years or more.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's going to destroy New York City. He's going to destroy the country. Oh, and by the way, he's going to destroy the world. So it's going to be like Star Wars, right? The whole planet's just going to explode.
Oh, yeah. Now, Bill Maher also called him a criminal. And I would have been, if Megyn Kelly was really on top of things, she should have said, okay, let's hear why is he a criminal? What did he do?
Yeah, she did. We just didn't have time. She did say that. And then she said, well, Biden's a criminal because of the classified documents thing. She fought back and pushed back hard.
Okay, because I didn't see the whole interview.
I just don't have time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
So that's Bill Maher. You heard Robert De Niro. Now, let's talk about Charlemagne the God. Okay? Charlemagne the God is the host of a show called The Breakfast Club on iHeartRadio and Urban Show, we'll call it. He was the one that Joe Biden was talking to when Joe Biden said, if you don't know who to vote for between me and Trump, you ain't black.
Right.
Right.
Not a racist statement at all.
So Charlemagne the God has now written a book. We were watching Gutfeld last night. Show started. Greg does his monologue. And then he says, let's welcome tonight's guests. Cameron goes right on Charlemagne the God. And I said, whoa, to my wife, and she's like, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And he went on and he said that Biden was a terrible president. But you know what else he said? He said that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. I'm saying this now. I am so sick to death of the threat to democracy. Find another line, find a truthful line to say about Donald Trump, or don't say anything at all. I get it. You have to be, he's like the big voice of the black community right now, And if he were smart, he would, and he'd tell his audience to vote for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is the one that has helped his black audience get jobs, maintain jobs, hire them in the White House. And I don't mean hire them in positions of, power. So why not vote for that guy?
I would go one step further and say, if you truly have the black Americans in your heart, and if Charlemagne the God does, then he would be instructing them to vote for Trump.
Yep. So I'm done. Okay. The next time I hear somebody say he's a threat to democracy, I want to sit him down and say, explain yourself fully. Don't give me a prepared statement that he's a threat to democracy. Tell me exactly what he's going to do, that he's going to be a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Because none of them have gone on to say why, And let me tell you, with Charlemagne the God on, everybody was kind of on pins and needles on that show. Kennedy was on the show. She was a little nervous. Kat, completely nervous to be talking in front of Charlemagne the God.
Why?
I don't know. Because he's got that kind of reputation. I'm Charlemagne the God. I know everything about everything. He's like the black Bill Maher is what he is.
Right. He obviously doesn't know everything because he's saying things that don't make sense.
And by the way, they were the same way with Bill Maher. Bill Maher was on Gutfeld because he's got a book out. That's why he was on Megyn Kelly. So my point is, this threat to democracy crap, cut it out, or come explain yourself on this show and tell me exactly what you mean that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy.
No, I would even challenge, Lester or any of the other people out there listening who are Democrats or far left. Byron, sure. Why don't you come on and we'll give you the time. We will give you the time to explain just what Vic just now said. Explain yourself and explain Biden to us, and we'll let you go.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, Joe Biden is going to destroy America, and he might destroy the world.
He's working on it every single day.
Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. Okay. Joe Biden is the one who's transforming this country into an authoritarian country. All the things those three guys said, actually is Joe Biden doing it, because Ed Stoit, everything Democrats say, the opposite is true. And that's it. I'm done. That's all. I have an enormous headache in my eye. That's Billy Crystal from Throw Mama from the Train. Okay. I don't know why I feel like I have to explain those things, but when I say something like I have an enormous headache in my eye, I feel like I have to explain it.
Well, it's good to reference it a little bit once in a while.
Yeah. What do you mean once in a while? I'm kidding.
Never mind.
Okay. Reverend Stephen Kraft. Man, this guy is awesome. You're going to hear him speak in front of a school board of a bunch of entitled people, and then we'll talk to him. And let me tell you, the theory and practice of what he's saying is God created men and God created women, and there's nothing else in between. That's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
There's always have been compelling value sets that visions of America. One of those value sets is revenge and retribution. As President Lincoln said,
made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
We've got a huge happy hump day announcement from Zach Smith of the Heritage Foundation at 425. How we in Missouri can protect our elections, Senator Ben Brown at 525.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Hey, I'd like you to get to know Dr. Daniel Cusimano and Dr. Megan Dwyer. Those are dentists and my dental team, along with their dental team at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. Whether it's economic value with their dental savings plan and their real concern about giving you value, which is, of course, quality at a great price, or whether it's their personal values, their dedication to absolute precision. I can tell you when I go in and get my treatment there, or just a cleaning, whatever, it's always, I get this feeling it's like laser guided precision. Well, yeah, they have lasers, but they don't do that for everything. Of course, it's the right tool for the right job. Whether it is dental implants, whether it's just general dentistry, cosmetic dentistry, and by the way, he can use some Botox in all the right ways for those applications as well. You'll find the greatest of care, the greatest value delivered with people who have real values, the values we share at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. Get to know them by calling 636-978-0226, 636-978-0226, or advanceddentistrynow.com. That's Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles.
Columbo and Katie.
Bernie Sanders trying to make the case for the 32-hour work week. He doesn't want rich people to be rich. In his utopia, everybody makes $1 million to not work. He was coherent.
He was.
The president is not. The lights are on in Bernie's house. It's just that they're all kerosene gas lamps from 1922. But they're on.
Tony Colombo, Katie Fitzpatrick. Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
What makes a barbecue champion? It's skill, it's swagger, it's choice meats, superior spices and sauces. But it starts with the simplest cooking fuel, Rockwood Lump Charcoal, made of 100% pure Missouri oak, hickory, and maple. It's premium charcoal that lights quick and burns hot, with a rich wood aroma that complements the natural flavors of meats. And because it's free from chemicals and impurities, it's more responsive for superior temperature control. What makes a barbecue champion? Rockwood Charcoal. Smoke the competition. Visit rockwoodcharcoal.com for tips in stores near you.
News, analysis, and opinion.
Let the American people see what's going on here.
News Talk STL.
Pay close attention.
St. Louis is number one.
Bottom line is this. St. Louis is number one.
For conservative talk.
News Talk STL. This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Live and be well.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
I am a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And many of these parents in here don't have opinions, but they have principles because they love God. And like I heard that brother over there say, and they want to know why our straight white children being pumped down their throat about sodomy, about transgenderism, about a boy can come to school one day and be a boy, and the next day he's a girl. That's a lie from him. We have to come to reality.
That is the Reverend Stephen Kraft, and he joins us now from Project 21. Reverend, it is so great to have you with us.
Oh, I'm blessed to be with you, Brother Vic. You're an Italian, a good Italian. I try to be the best Black American that I can be.
Well, then all I can say is, hey, how you doing? Okay, so listen, that event that you were at with a meeting, can you explain the venue? Was it a school board meeting? Is that what you were at?
Yes, sir. Southern Massachusetts, SUTTON, school board meeting a couple of weeks ago. It's basically a white area, rural school district here in Massachusetts. I live in Lexington, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And they invited me, the normal parents invited me to come and speak to that liberal school board about this nonsense that they've been pushing, bringing drag queens into the school, shaking their backsides to the kids and telling the kids that it's all right to be a boy on Monday, girl on Tuesday, and keep it from your parents. And drag queenism is an art instead of they shouldn't be transphobic and all kind of such nonsense. So I'm an old veteran from the Vietnam era. I'm 80 years old, but people think I'm in my 60s because I don't shuffle around like the average 80-year-old person.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm a chaplain. I worked in your state at the old Missouri State Penitentiary, Jefferson City Correctional.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. Yeah. I'm in my 60s and I walk around like I'm 80. So you and I have kind of switched. So, I mean, the first thing you said in that video is, I'm 80 years old. I've been Black for 80 years old. I'm never going to be white, and I think people really started to say, hey, I kind of like this guy, let's hear what he has to say. And then during your whole, let's call it a speech, testimony, whatever you want to say, you said God made men and God made women, and that's it.
That's right. That's right. They only give us on these. I don't know how familiar you are, Vic, with these school board meetings, but you only get 3 minutes, and then they sound the buzzer, and then they cut you off.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people there on both sides of this issue. There had to be at least over 100 people there. But I'm very outspoken, being a minister of the gospel, and I'm one of these type of Black conservatives that I love. I love confrontation. I love getting in the face of those who promote these lies to destroy these children. I'm not going to put up with that.
Well, clearly. And I mean, the speech was just, it's common sense, but yet Ken and I have to say, boy, you're brave for getting out there and, just talking about what you've known your whole life. And, liberals are trying to change biology, change, men, women, that's all we got. But I think that people, if they listen to somebody like you talk, instead of somebody like Charlemagne the God, who we were just talking about in the last break, people would really get a sense of what's really going on in this country and what really should go on in this country. And that means electing Donald Trump.
I agree. My wife and I, we pray for Donald every day. And even in the midst of this sham trial, we're believing God's going to bring him through. And I'll tell you the reason why, Vic, as a minister, I know that to be true. Satan only attacks those who present a threat to him. Satan has attacked Donald Trump from the time he came down the escalator at Trump Tower in 2016. And the devil has not stopped yet. Why? Because Donald Trump is God's man. And Satan cannot stand that. Donald Trump loves his country. I lived in the South Bronx for quite a few years myself. No one ever had any problems with the Donald back in the day.
That's right. They called him the Donald. Yeah.
That's right. That's right, brother. No one ever had any problems when he was the Donald. But as soon as he came down that escalator to stand firm, save our nation, all hell broke loose, and it hasn't lightened up since. That's why we who love America and love God, we have got to come together. That's why I've opened myself up to going anywhere around the world and preaching this message unashamedly. America first, not because we think we're better than other nations, but because if America falls, the rest of the world.
Exactly.
That's my position, and I stand on that without compromise.
We're talking to the Reverend Stephen Lewis Kraft, representing Project 21 today. You know, there are so many pictures and so much video from the past, like you talked about before he came down the escalator. Donald Trump pictured with Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and Don King. And they're all like, man, this guy's the greatest guy in the world. By the way, Don King, the boxing promoter, has endorsed Donald Trump, so he's come around. But
that's good.
What terrible things has he done since all the good he did for black people before he was even a candidate, when he was just Donald Trump? And then when he was president, right, the lowest black unemployment rate ever. What happened? I mean, what is the problem?
The problem is there is a real devil, Vic, and there is a real God. The problem is spiritual at its root, not political. It plays out in the political realm, but the root of the problem is spiritual. And only those who understand spiritual reality can understand the depth of the problem. If people who do not believe in God and do not believe in the existence of Satan will never come to a conclusion, because the Bible is clear that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And the fact remains that when we see this relentless attack against Donald Trump from 2016, here we are in 2024, and the attacks have not stopped and will not stop, because the attacks are supernatural. They're not natural, and they won't stop. But God has his hands on Donald, and that is the acid test to prove that Donald Trump is the true president, simply because if the left had a way to kill him, they'd take him out. But they can't take him out because the angels of the Lord protect him.
So, Reverend Kraft, how often do you speak in front of large black audiences?
I don't get a chance. I'm glad you asked that question, Vic. I don't get a chance to speak in front of most black audiences at all. You know why?
Why?
Because the slave chains have been taken off their body in 1865, and now they're on their mind. And most of the blacks, and like you heard me say in that video, I've been black 80 years and won't turn white
right
soon.
Right.
Most blacks are still under spiritual and mental bondage. The chains have been taken off of most blacks' bodies and put on their minds. And when they hear the truth from another black man, they freak out. Most of the people I speak to are not because I don't want to speak to my people. I love my people. But I'll be honest with you, my people get on my last loving nerve. I worked at the penitentiary as a chaplain right there in your state, in Jeff City, for years. And the inmates that I had the most problem with those years I worked at JCCC, as it was called then, was the black inmates. I had no problem with most of the old boys from down in southern Missouri. I had no problems with any of the guys in the Aryan Brotherhood. They all loved me. But the black, especially the Nation of Islam, I mean, they gave me grief, but I stood right up there with them. And all of the inmates made a plaque for me when I left there, and they gave me a nickname that sticks with me even to this very hour. Chappie is my nickname, because I've been a chaplain for years in different capacities.
Love it. So,
Chappie, okay.
Because here's the thing. Two things I want to ask you about. Let's do them one at a time. First of all, I think the black way of life is a very conservative way of life, right? Very religious, very family oriented. So why can't we get them to vote conservative?
Because here's the problem. You might have never thought about this, but it's true. I do a lot of overseas missionary work as well, short-term missions trips. Matter of fact, not next month, July, I'll be going over to Cape Town to pick up some dear African friends of mine who've never been to America, bring them back to America. I'm now the chaplain for Camp Constitution. We won the flag case, the Christian flag case for the United States Supreme Court in 2022, 9-0. That was a miracle from God. But anyway, over in South Africa, they had elections. Their elections was today. And they keep voting in the African National Congress, which is the ruling governmental entity in South Africa, and they are all Marxists.
Yeah.
The same problems that they have in South Africa with the blacks because of the history of apartheid is the same problems that the Black Americans have here in America because of Jim Crow and slavery. And until we are willing to forgive those who have trespassed against us, God will not forgive us. The Bible is clear. Jesus says, if you don't forgive those who do you wrong, neither will Jesus forgive us for the wrong we do to others. So the same problems that's going on in South Africa with the blacks over there who refuse to forgive the whites who brought apartheid down on them is the same problem the African Americans have here who refuse to let go of slavery and Jim Crow.
We're talking to Reverend Stephen Kraft from Project 21.
Hey, Reverend Chappie, I had a quick, this is Ken, by the way, and I wanted to ask you, the people are getting really tired of what's going on with everything. And I think that sometimes people tend to lose hope. And is this one of your missions, is to pick people back up and say, yes, it is not hopeless what we're going through right now?
Of course, because the greatest blessings, Brother Kenny, that God tells in Scripture is that adversity and affliction builds character. One of the problems that we have in America is this. We're too comfortable. And it makes us weak, it makes us woke, and it makes us wince.
Yep.
We have strong. I am old enough to remember the hard times we came through. Even when I was in the veteran, well, I'm a veteran now, but when I was in the Army back in the 60s with the Vietnam era, affliction does one of two things for everyone, Ken. It either makes us strong for the next battle or else it kills us.
Yep.
And Americans, for the most part, are too comfortable. There's a curse of comfort, just like there's a curse of poverty. But I truly believe the curse of comfort is even more demonic than the curse of impoverishment. Because, for example, when we're talking about South Africa, when you bring Africans who have nothing and they come to America and make something of themselves, and as you see all these illegal immigrants that we have a problem with now coming over here, why did they come if America is so systemically racist? Wouldn't make sense.
Yep.
But everybody wants to come to America by hook or crook. Why?
Exactly
because
right.
people innately know the truth about America. But there is a Marxist presence in America that's taken over all of the foundations of America and is destroying America from within. We have been given over to communism and Marxism, and we've gotten comfortable in our prosperity. And as a result of that, we're losing our nation.
All right, we're
I hope
talking.
that helps you.
You've helped a ton today, Reverend Stephen Kraft. We're out of time, unfortunately. We're up against a hard break, but if you can come back and talk to us again, I'd love to hear more about your work at the Correctional Center in Pine Prairie, Louisiana, and here in Missouri at the Jefferson City Correctional Center, and to also make people understand, Black people understand what Planned Parenthood was about when it started. We don't have time right now, but Brother Reverend Stephen Kraft, thank you so much for your time, and come back anytime, please.
God bless you. Anytime, Vic. God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right, and thank you
God
for serving,
bless
by
you.
the way.
Yes, thank you for serving.
He called me Brother Vic. He called you Brother
He,
Kenny.
he called me Brother Kenny.
Yes. Oh, Brother Kenny, excuse me. But he's great. And you know what? When it comes down to it, God made man and God made women. And the purpose of a woman is to love a man. I screwed that all up. All right.
RevStephenCraft.com.
Chappie, because it's Chaplain. All right. The news. And then another brother, our brother, Tim Jones. He's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss as part of our lineup every week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on News Talk STL. And in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer. And again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Former President Trump back at that Manhattan courthouse he's become so familiar with over the past month or so. He's there as jurors in his criminal case prepare to decide his fate.
Today's deliberations will follow a marathon day of closing arguments in which a prosecutor accused Trump of trying to hoodwink voters in the 2016 presidential election by participating in a scheme meant to stifle stories. Trump faces 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. He's pleaded not guilty and denied all the charges. At criminal court in Manhattan, I'm Julie Walker.
Another U.S. military drone has gone down in Yemen. What's not clear at this point is whether it was shot down by Iran-backed Houthi rebels based in Yemen. So this is how they plan to do it, how Democrats will get Joe Biden on the Buckeye ballot.
President Biden will be formally nominated as the Democratic presidential nominee through a virtual roll call ahead of the party's official convention in Chicago in August. That will allow Biden to appear on the November ballot in Ohio. The Democratic National Convention, where the president would otherwise be formally nominated, comes after Ohio's ballot deadline of August 7th. The party's convention is scheduled for August 19th through the 22nd. The DNC did not say when the virtual roll call will take place, but is expected in the weeks after the committee's June 4th Rules and Bylaws Committee meeting. I'm Norman Hall.
More heavy weather in Texas, this time hitting the Dallas and Houston areas. Huge hailstones, flooding rains, vicious winds left one person dead in the Houston area yesterday. Forecasters warn there could be more severe weather on the way later today. Sell-off underway this morning on Wall Street. The Dow is down 368 points, loss of close to 1%. NASDAQ off 47 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of their timeshares. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-213-5757. 800-213-5757. 800-213-5757.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. Give Benjamin Schaefer a call at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Dry weather until Friday evening at the earliest. So let's make the most out of the next couple of days. Mostly sunny skies today, and with low humidity, temperatures running a little cooler than normal. Yeah, this one's a keeper, up to about 78 for the afternoon high. Mainly clear tonight, almost cool as temperatures drop to 57 overnight. Mostly sunny Thursday as well, just a little warmer tomorrow, up to 81, still very nice. And again, no rain until Friday evening into Saturday morning. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right. Welcome home to 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. I'm Vic Porcelli. That guy there is Ken Williams. Second hour today includes Charles Groeteke. He is on the Jefferson County Council. I mean, we talk to Mark Harder all the time.
Yeah.
We talk to Joe Brazil. Well, it's really Brazel.
But he gave you the
he did, right, Ken?
Yeah, the okay to say Brazil.
Because sexy Rio de Janeiro, come on, Carnival, all that stuff. So Charles Groeteke will join us at 10:41. Right now, Ken, are you ready for this? I guess so.
Former Speaker of the House.
You just proved why you left-wing loons are so insane.
Ready for this? Tim Jones.
Can you invite Tim into one of those special activities that we like to do here at the radio station?
Oh, I'm sorry. I really should have done this,
It is Wednesday. I mean,
right. Yeah, so we should probably.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
There you go, Tim. There's your dry.
Vic, there's nothing better than squeezing in a dry hump day.
Man, I'm telling you what. I try to do it only on Wednesdays, though. It's just too much fun for every day of the week.
How is this show still on the air? I mean, I don't know how we haven't been canceled.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, FCC,
Huh.
Timmy.
All right, Tim, I want to.
Dangerous. Hey, speaking of different names and what
Yes.
people call you. So you know what I'm known as south of the border?
South of what
Timmy.
border? Is it Timmy?
Timoteo Jones.
Oh, wow.
Oh, south of the American border.
Yes. It's like I'm like a desperado.
I had no idea. They call you that in Tijuana?
His name
They
is
do.
Timoteo Jonas.
Especially on dry hump days.
Where'd it go? What happened?
Hold on. You start this conversation with, I don't know how this show's on the air. And then you keep talking about dry hump day. I don't understand. All right.
I guess we're all in a mood today, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Oh, yeah.
Vic, if we didn't laugh, we'd cry, right?
Yes.
Because I know you have a lot of things you want to talk about. Of course, the Trump trial is foremost in everybody's mind because we're all sitting here waiting on bated breath to find out that it's not going to be a news flash if a Manhattan jury convicts Donald Trump. I mean, come on, can we be honest? I know that the trial has been abysmal, and we've all picked up some hope during the trial because the prosecution's case is so they don't have a forget about a weak case. They don't have a case, okay? So because we've been watching this and watching it day by day for the last 6 weeks, and there hasn't been a single fact put on the record tying Trump to any sort of felony, much less any crime whatsoever, I know we're holding out hope that there's still some sanity in lower Manhattan and that people actually will sit there and go, so here's the law. Now, were there any facts to prove that law? No, not really. So it really should be a not guilty. I know we're all thinking that cooler heads may prevail, but let's be honest. If it's anything but a conviction, we're all going to be surprised, aren't we? Because we're dealing with the height of Trump derangement syndrome in the most affected part of the country.
So hold on now. First of all, we just need one juror, just one, to say, wait a minute now. I haven't seen any evidence of a crime. Michael Cohen's a great big liar. The Stormy Daniels is a porn star. I'm not voting to convict. Just one, Tim.
The problem is the prosecution yesterday was allowed to argue things that were not anywhere near the record. They weren't within 100 miles of the record. And yes, I'll tell you this, you do get latitude in closing arguments because the judge will instruct the jury in every case that what the lawyers are about to say in their closing arguments is not evidence. If they refer to evidence, well, you can consider that, but their arguments are not evidence. Now, that being the case, you can't just do what they did yesterday, which was just create up they basically manufactured the entire case in the closing argument from everything that I've heard and seen and read, because they didn't have a case during the preceding 6 weeks. You see what I mean there?
Yeah, I do.
They weren't able to prove anything, so they tried basically yesterday in a 7-hour-long closing argument to create the entire fairy tale, and I'm hoping that the jury just disregards all of that and goes, okay, that was a nice bedtime story. Now let's go back and look at what we were actually presented with during the actual trial. If they do, Vic, and if there's one sane person on that trial that cares about the future of American jurisprudence, maybe one of the lawyers that happen to be on the jury, then I think we have a chance at a hung jury. I think we're either going to get a conviction or a hung jury. That's my prediction.
I will take a hung jury any day of the week because this kangaroo court's just out of control. Now, there's so many things I want to talk about here, Tim, but we got to take them one at a time. First of all, I saw that the judge in his instructions to the jury said you can't convict just on Michael Cohen's testimony. I mean, I'm not sure what that statement means. I doubt he's had a change of heart and he's trying to be fair. Why would he say that?
That's an interesting instruction.
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly, because if you have a smoking gun, whether it's a document or a witness, a witness with direct knowledge and evidence, you generally can. So I'd have to look at the totality of that instruction. I'm glad to hear that that may be the only reasonable thing that this judge has done throughout the entire trial. I mean, look, Michael Cohen is an actual adjudicated liar. I'm not saying that as hyperbole. I'm not saying that because I don't like the fact that he is trying to throw Donald Trump under the bus and make more money off of Donald Trump. He is the grifter amongst grifters. I'm saying that because it's true. He's an actual adjudicated liar. And not only has he lied in other courtrooms and before Congress and in other proceedings where he was under oath, it looks like that he actually lied in this case.
Right.
He lied. So get this. So if you're on the jury, wait a minute. The guy who's the previous adjudicated liar and who was the prosecution's star witness, he just lied in the case on which I'm supposed to take away Donald Trump's freedoms, liberties, or punish him with a fine. That's the guy. If I'm the jury, I go, on that alone, I'm not convicting because I don't know if anything that Michael Cohen said was true. There's another instruction that was probably given about Michael Cohen. And because it's given when someone is an adjudicated liar or is proven to have lied on the stand, you can say, if you find that one, if the jury believes that Michael Cohen lied at any point in time, there's an instruction that is given. And the instruction is, if you find any part of this witness's testimony not to be credible, not to be believable, you may discount the entire testimony of the witness because you don't know when they were lying and when they were telling the truth. If you believe that they lied once, you can believe that they lied the entire time. So I don't know what else you connect Donald Trump with, if not Cohen, right? Because I've been hearing every single expert, whether they're on the liberal or the conservative side of the fence, they've all pretty much said that beyond Cohen, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And even with Cohen, you don't know whether to believe the guy or not. You don't have Donald Trump connected to, I'm going to use a fancy legal term here, guys. There's no nexus between Donald Trump and the commission of a crime other than Michael Cohen likely lying about that nexus.
Which
if you remove Michael Cohen from the equation, which I think the jurors should and hopefully will, no nexus exists whatsoever between Donald Trump and the commission of any crime, much less the bootstrapping of two New York paperwork misdemeanors somehow connected to an unknown federal elections offense, which the prosecutor doesn't have jurisdiction over anyway. I mean, don't get me started. This entire case and every aspect of it is flawed from the beginning to the end.
All right. I want to say something here, but I don't know if we have time to dig into it, Tim. But at what point, if you can answer this in 10 seconds, I know it's hard.
Yeah.
At what point is Michael Cohen's testimony perjury?
At any point that he was proven to have a statement inconsistent with a statement that he made at court.
Okay, good enough. So have you ever in your legal career seen a judge in a trial like this just give the jury a week off to go get influenced by their friends and family?
No, that was another miscarriage of justice, adding to all the prior miscarriages of justice in this case. I mean, the judge knows what the environment is like up in New York. The judge knows that these folks were given a 3-day weekend, like you said, to go back and get immersed in all the Trump hate. Can you imagine the Trump hate in the media in New York City? Vic, you lived in that region for a chunk of your life. I lived in that region for a chunk of my life. The New York media and the region, it's brutal, right? It's brutal in the sporting world, in the political world, in the business world. And when the New York media has a target, I mean, it's Katie bar the door. And so you can imagine the Trump hate. I hope the jurors went home and watched Fox News all weekend, or Newsmax, or maybe listened to NewstalkSTL on their app, on their phone. But I doubt it. But if they got any, you know what though, on even on CNN, I don't know about MSDNC, but even on CNN, they've had legal commentators throughout the last 6-7 weeks go, yeah, I don't know about this one. Cohen's testimony, is there really so I hope that all they need, Vic, to your earlier point, is reasonable doubt. They don't need a lot of reasonable doubt. They just need one reasonable doubt. And I think there's plenty of reasonable doubt from the beginning of this case to the end and everything in between.
Tim and Vic, I think that judge actually is discounting the testimony of Cohen because he is a liar. The judge is saying, look, I know he's a big liar, so don't put all of the weight on his lies. There are other reasons why you should be voting against Trump. You're ruling against Trump, and it's because we hate him.
Yeah, Ken, that's probably right. And I can only imagine. I'm going to have to probably look up the jury instructions if they're a bit publicly available now. I'm sure they're a disaster because this case is a disaster. The instructions are the law of the case. Well, haven't we all been saying that we're not exactly sure what law that they're prosecuting Trump on besides those 2 business record misdemeanors, right, that actually have had the statute of limitations? Why is this case even before us, right? So, but how do you take the 2 misdemeanors and turn them into a felony with the unknown, vaguely described FEC violation, which this prosecutor doesn't even have jurisdiction over? So based on everything I just said, can you imagine how these jury instructions must read? They must be the most complicated crap. And usually when things get complicated and crappy and chaotic, that usually benefits the defense. I just hope the jury doesn't look at this and go, well, this sounds really messy. And Donald Trump said this, we don't like Donald Trump, and so we're just going to convict him. I hope they look at this and go, these jury instructions are a mess because this case is a mess, because the witnesses were a mess. And even though I don't like Donald Trump, I can't convict him on this because the entire thing is a disaster.
Yeah, they'll have to fall in line with the Hollywood elite and all that. So 3 guys I want to talk about very quickly. First of all, Charlemagne the God was on Gutfeld last night, and he said the magic phrase, Donald Trump is going to destroy democracy, right? Or he's a threat to democracy, not the democracy. I'll give him credit on that. And by the way, Greg didn't push back when Charlemagne the God said that he tried to, a coup. He killed the January 6th, a coup. And Greg did not fire back on him at all on that. So that's that. Bill Maher on with Megyn Kelly said the same thing. Bill Maher did not know, Tim. He did not know. A guy with a show on HBO, Mr. Researcher, didn't know that Hillary Clinton called Donald Trump an illegitimate president. He didn't know that she said that. And finally, Robert De Niro and his stupid press conference yesterday, all these guys, and Charlemagne the God self-admittedly has Trump derangement syndrome, but we're here to help because we do have a new drug that'll help that.
Libs and never Trumpers. Do you wake up every morning to the ringing of Trump's voice in your head? You may suffer from moderate to severe Trump derangement syndrome, or TDS. There is hope. New MAGA Strength Trumpinol. Magadonian approved.
I had it really bad, so I take the Ultra MAGA Trumpinol with extra Kofifi. And now, instead of calling him criminal, I kind of like the bastard.
Side effects may include the desire to become pro-life, question the media, defund Ukraine, support Israel, wave the American flag, close the border. Ask your doctor if Trumpinol is right for you. Make yourself great again with new Trumpinol.
That's all they got to do, Tim.
Ultra MAGA Kafifi strength. I love that. I need some of that.
That's all Ken Williams. That is 100% the brain and comedy of Ken Williams. All right.
Well, that's why this is an award-winning. This is why this is an award-winning broadcast radio show.
Tim, I appreciate that.
Thanks.
I really do. Thank you. So one interesting thing that has nothing to do with anything except that I'm a complete perv. When the hearing went on before this happened, you know where like those barriers are, and Trump comes out and talks after every day. Behind that is a two doors, and during the hearing there was this blonde police officer woman who was hot as fire. And she was a sensation. She was a viral thing for a long time.
Right.
And it was so funny. I was like, wow, she's hot, And then all of a sudden it explodes and she's not there anymore. So that kind of makes me.
You think that's on purpose? They just
Probably.
said, don't stand in front of the door. You're distracting.
All right. And
nothing
Tim,
like a lady in uniform, huh, Vic?
oh my God.
You're
Oh,
right.
please. Oh my God. So and Tim, I got to bring it up, and there's no way to bring it up and not be sad about it. But great conversation with Ben Baker yesterday.
Yeah.
My God, my heart just bleeds for the whole situation. 2 kids trying to do good, and these scumbags in Haiti just gun them down.
Yeah, Vic, Ken, I hope everybody was able to listen to that interview. If you missed it, it's of course available, NewstalkSTL.com on our podcast page. Powerful interview. I saw that Ben and his wife were starting to do interviews on Friday night. I waited until Monday. I saw he started doing some radio in his neck of the woods in Southwest Missouri and up in Kansas City. And so I reached out to my former producer Cass, who now works for the Vitae Foundation. She is the media spokesperson for the family. Couldn't think of a better person. Reached out to Cass and I said, hey, if Ben's ready to do some radio in St. Louis, we'd love to have him. It'd be an honor. And so we were able to hook that up. I'd urge everybody to listen to that and give to the GoFundMe. Help these poor people out and everything that they've lost. Vic, you're the father of daughters. I'm the father of daughters.
Ken too.
It was hard to do that. It was hard to do that interview.
Yeah.
It was necessary to do that interview. Every time I think about Ben, who is a friend of mine, I just get overwhelmed with grief. This has been one of the hardest things to have to even talk about. I can't. There's no word. The word sounds stupid. The word sounds small for what this family's going through. But Ben did a huge, the honor he paid to his daughter, Natalie, and to her husband, Davey. I love that I didn't know the whole story. The Davey Lloyd's family, the husband, Davey Lloyd's family, this is not just something they decided on a whim to do. They have been involved with missions to Haiti for decades. The Lloyd family has dedicated their lives to helping a part of the world which many people don't even think about, much less think about going and doing mission work to. They have been just toiling away, trying to help these people in this ravaged land that has been wrecked by earthquakes and hurricanes and civil unrest and warfare. They've been going into the belly of the beast, sacrificing probably literally everything every time they go there. And so this has been a life's calling. And how amazing, Vic and Ken, that there are people on this planet that are so selfless in their self-sacrifice that they are willing to put their lives literally on the line to help people in faraway places. I respect them. I honor them. I mourn for them. If you can help these people out, I would appreciate it. The GoFundMe page has exceeded all expectations, and it needs to, because can you imagine the costs involved with trying to get the remains of your loved ones home from a nation like this that hasn't had a government in 3 years? Can you imagine the danger involved and the cost? They have to transport them to an airport. They have an airline that has been willing to airlift them out. Hopefully later this week, we'll keep everyone posted. Hopefully get them back home, give them a proper memorial service and burial, and then start with the healing process, which is going to last for the rest of everyone's lives and will probably never be complete.
All right. Well said, Tim Jones. That kind of stuff and more this afternoon, 4 o'clock, with the Tim Jones and Chris Arps Show. Tim, keep kicking butt there in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And whoosh, my speaker.
Whoosh, my MAGA, ultra MAGA, Kafifi brothers. Love everything you guys do every morning.
Thank you, man. We'll be listening this afternoon. That is Tim Jones.
See you, Tim.
Boy, there's a reason why he was the Speaker of the House, because he's such a great speaker.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know?
He really is.
Sounds so stupid, but it's true. All right, when we get back,
Whoosh.
we have to get to the chat box, so we'll do that next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Liar! Liar!
Whoosh.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Don't.
No! Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to bring you the best price ever on my exclusive Gaza Dream Bed sheets. If you're on the front line fighting Hamas, you need the best sleep possible on my exclusive Gaza Dream Bed sheets, made from the finest cotton in the world, grown only in a region between the Golan Heights, the Dead Sea, and the West Bank. My Gaza Dream Bed sheets will get you the great night's sleep you need to kill Hamas terrorists. Order now and get a pair of my pillow slippers to sneak up on those Hamas terrorists. Use the number on your screen and use the promo code SHALOM. Please order now.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Oh, Adam, you are so romantic. And I love the kitchen you found with all these great crumbs.
Yeah, baby, only the finest crumbs in the kitchen for my favorite aunt. Oh no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the mood.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. We'd love to help you out. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
What's going on in Jefferson County at the Jefferson County Council? We'll talk to Jefferson County Council person Charles Groeteke Wednesday at 10:41, and we'll see if we can find a place to dry hump somewhere around here.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the poll.
Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
What are you playing old audio for?
It's not old.
That's
old.
What?
It's not old.
What are you talking about?
No, that's new.
Really?
That's
he said read the polls, Jack, again?
Yeah, he regurgitated it.
Read the polls, Jack.
That's another one.
Read the polls, Jack. All right. You know what, Ken? I would like to hear something from the can you set the Wayback Machine? Can you get the Wayback Machine now? Is it working today?
I think it
Get
is.
some
Let
WD-40.
me double check here.
Get some WD-40 and squirt some WD-40 in there. And
I think I might have broke it.
oh no. We don't have to go back.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here,
So set the Wayback Machine for 2023, would you? There we go. Going back in time. Matt Gaetz reading out Hunter Biden text about, well, the one where he's sitting down there with his father. And I love what Matt Gaetz calls it at the end.
I'm sitting here with my father. I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Sounds like a shakedown, doesn't it, Director?
I'm not going to get into commenting on that.
You seem deeply uncurious about it, don't you? Almost suspiciously uncurious. Are you protecting the Bidens?
Absolutely not. The FBI does not and has no interest in
you won't answer the
protecting
question
anyone
about whether or not
politically.
that's a shakedown, and everybody knows why you won't answer it. Because to the millions of people who will see this, they know it is. And your inability to acknowledge that is deeply revealing about you.
So shakedown is exactly what it was. And I love how Christopher Wray just gets to go, no, I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah. No.
Does he get to do that as a witness?
Yeah, that's his choice because they're the most powerful entity in the government right now.
Yeah. All right, I can't anymore. Get us back to the year 2020.
A little lightheaded.
Okay. All right. Can we check the chat box?
Yeah, we can.
What do you want to go first, Ken?
Oh, let's do Rumble.
Let's do Rumble.
Because we haven't done Rumble first the last couple of times.
Okay, I turned on my Rumble chat box a little late.
Did you?
Yeah. Can you tell me what the very first couple are, which I'm thinking I know what it is? Oh, no. All right, we're going to assume.
Let's reset mine.
Let's assume that Ed said, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No for election.
No peace.
No for election.
No peace.
All right. 101 straight up says, morning, Vic Heads. De Niro was there to jury tamper. That's why he was there. To jury tamper. Public
great point.
Jury tampering is what it is. They were there to continue division. The left are pulling out all the stops because they are that desperate, and that's why.
Absolutely. I just believe that.
Another great move by Team Biden. Put the irrational De Niro out there in front and center. Leftists are losing their minds right now. And here, yeah. Gutfeld upset me last night. It's okay. He had Charlemagne the God on, who isn't a god. I get it. That's his name. What am I going to do? But when Greg didn't call out his incompetence on J6, etc., it was upsetting. Charlemagne was only there for his book, and that's why he was there. And he's not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that Donald Trump will be a threat to democracy because it's just ridiculous, stupid talk, and you sound stupid when you say it. De Niro is a pretend tough guy. Didn't I say that? He thinks he's the gangsters he's played in movies.
Did you see him in those elevator shoes?
Okay, I can explain that. My wife brought up the same thing. What's with these elevator shoes? He had to wear those when they were filming The Irishman because Frank Sheeran, who Robert De Niro played, was a very, very tall guy.
Oh, okay.
And he had to tower over Al Pacino.
So he wasn't wearing them yesterday?
No.
Because I saw the picture. I'm like, wait a minute.
No. If you look closely at the picture with the shoes, I know exactly what you're talking about, and watch the movie, it's the exact clothes he's got on in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So it was just to make him look taller in the movie.
And that's why I asked. I didn't criticize. But you know what? When he was doing his thing yesterday, criticizing Trump, he did look short. I mean,
he is short.
He looked really yell at him.
Yeah.
They couldn't see him because
right.
all the people around him.
Here's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Did you see him pointing and like moving towards he was going to do something with those people.
Oh, tough guy, yeah.
Because he knew that he was going to get held back. He's such a big tough guy when he knows these big people there are going to hold him back.
Yeah.
God. De Niro says
Vic, it's lit up, man. Over 100 views.
I can only go so faster. De Niro says Trump would never leave. Okay. So what's the downside?
That's great.
I think De Niro has some hidden past. That's another thing. Why are a lot of these celebrities so afraid of Donald Trump getting elected? Does he know something? Because one of the I'm just saying what one of the people said in the crowd
about France.
You touch people, you touch kids. He said
it was like 08 or something like that. He was in France. There was a deal and that he was held by the police. And
who are we talking about? De Niro.
De Niro.
Wow. Because Tom Hanks has his own problems too.
Right. That's another one.
So are they that afraid that Trump's going to start opening up the book? We'll see.
Yeah.
In a way, it's okay if Donald Trump did have a meetup with an adult woman, but it's not okay when pedophiles do what they do. How about that,
It's
De Niro?
not okay.
That's what he said. How about that, De Niro? Idea for a new segment. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, sorry. Idea for a new segment. Run audio of them saying stuff that ends up the opposite. Well, we do that every day because everything they say the opposite is true.
It's true.
Remind me, was Hitler a socialist? That doesn't fit with Trump's policies at all. Thank you for saying it's not just Biden. It's all the elite behind him. We have to push that point just in case they change horses in the race and it's not Joe anymore, which is probably going to happen at the DNC.
Some say, oh, no, we're not going to do that. They lie. They lie every day. So then why wouldn't they lie about that? Why? Yeah. What would be the difference if they'd said that?
Right. There's a lot of, let's see. The troll's back. Yeah, we got a troll in there.
That's okay.
I can't get to all. There's 5 million things in this chat box. I apologize.
Well, thanks for getting on Rumble, and please do so, and then like and subscribe if you like it, and if you don't, Vic,
what should we do?
Well, we should like and subscribe.
Wait, there's Facebook. Can we get to the Facebook?
Yeah.
Good Wednesday morning, says Tom. Barry says he'll never leave De Niro's mind. That's where he'll never leave. He'll never leave De Niro's mind.
That could be true, but let me say this about Trump leaving. When Robert De Niro says he's never going to leave the White House once he goes in, can you imagine? Okay, Trump's standing there. It's at the end of his term. No, I'm not leaving. Well, security's going to say, well, you are.
Yeah, you're leaving.
I mean,
right.
What is Trump going to have an army behind him?
Like our military can't handle one guy.
Right.
Barry says, give him Trump and all. Ken's got the commercial that we play all the time. If you guys need Trump and all, we can get you some. Reverend Kraft was a great find. Please get him on again. Ken gets all the credit for that. Good morning, Vic Heads. Heading to California for a little vacation. Looking forward to Rumble on the road. All right. No kidding. The Clinton Foundation and their problems in Haiti, right?
See, I wanted to bring that up, but we ran out of time. But what did Hillary Clinton do?
Who?
About no, but seriously, what did Hillary Clinton do about Haiti?
Right. Nothing.
The Clinton Foundation was supposed to be this big savior for Haiti, and all they did was destroy it.
She's just a murderer. That's all she is. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being in the chat box. We appreciate it. We can't tell you how much we appreciate your support.
We really
do. Following the show, following the radio station, and big event announcement coming your way today, which we didn't even talk to Tim Jones about because I'm an idiot.
There's a lot of stuff going. He was on fire, man.
He
couldn't stop him. But we can talk about it now.
Yes,
Vic.
let's do that. Big event announcement coming your way this very afternoon at 4:20 with Tim Jones and Chris Arps. You're not going to want to miss that, and you're not going to want to miss what they're talking about. All right, 4:20 today. Don't miss that announcement with Tim Jones and Chris Arps on News Talk STL.
In addition to that, we've got another. We're gonna announce something else coming up to keep the listeners involved with the station as well. That's later, but the main thing is to get to the Tim Jones and Chris Arps show to hear their big announcement.
Yes,
first.
do that. All right, coming up next from the from the Jefferson County Council, Charles Groeteke. He's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at News Talk STL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Call the erectionists to restore our patriots.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. What happens next?
Does any reasonable, sensible person believe anything that Michael Cohen says?
Happens right here.
This is nothing more than election interference at its finest.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Looking to get a new carpet, hardwood, or tile installed quickly and efficiently in your home? Look no further than Michael's Flooring Outlet. Michael's Flooring Outlet is a family-owned and operated business with a 30-year history of offering a diverse array of high-quality options in flooring. My parents and in-laws used Michael's to rip up their old carpet and replace it. They are both happy with the product and installation from Michael's. You can shop at one of their 3 locations in Creve Coeur, Darting Prairie, or St. Peters, or you can check them out at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Dr. Tobler, Missouri is looking to execute an inmate diagnosed with heart failure. Attorneys are requesting that he not be executed because of that condition.
Well, I scratched my head on this one. Someone, maybe he read some inside information about how to avoid execution by getting heart failure, and he started adding extra salt to his hamburger. I don't know.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
Fox News commentary.
In an act of total tone-deaf desperation, Team Biden-Harris trotted out deranged actor Robert De Niro to make their case. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
As the Trump trial was in the middle of closing arguments, the Biden-Harris team trotted out Trump-deranged Robert De Niro to make their case outside of the courthouse in New York City. His unhinged rant was not only filled with lies, but also delusion. Besides bashing Trump and his supporters, Robert De Niro also used some pretty amazing scare tactics to assert if reelected, Donald Trump would never leave office and democracy will cease to exist. He also claimed Trump doesn't belong in New York City, a city Trump has no doubt benefited for most of his adult life. But if elitist actor Robert De Niro is the last hope of the Biden-Harris team, you know things are getting pretty dang desperate. This lawfare tactic and strategy is really backfiring on Democrats, and it's a well-deserved consequence that they'll have to deal with, and I sure enjoy watching. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show. No, look. Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Like butter. Ken Williams, like butter.
Like butter.
Like butter. Hi there. This is 101.9 News Talk STL. Hey, listen, if you have a phone, guess what? You have a radio right inside the phone. Craziest thing. I'm learning technology too, being the old guy here. You push one button. Well, first you download it. Then you push one button to open up the app. Then you push the little arrow there. And then that starts the audio. And you can listen to us wherever you are in the entire world. Matter of fact, Barry Big said he's going to California, but he'll be listening from there on the app. So please get that, okay? All right. We want to find out locally what's going on and who are the good guys, who are the bad guys. One of the good guys with us right now, Charles Groeteke, the chairman of the Jefferson County Council. Charles, thanks for coming in.
I appreciate the opportunity to come here. We take a little drive from the foothills of the Ozarks to come into Maryland Heights. It was great.
I feel like I should address you as Mr. Chair.
No, I'm just Charlie.
Charles, good?
That's fine.
Charlie's good? Okay. So you have a colorful past with the Jefferson County Council. Can you capsulize your history with the county council?
Well, the Jefferson County changed from commission-style government 14 years ago to charter government, and I decided to put my name on the ballot back then.
Can you explain the difference between the two?
Commission-style government, you have 3 county commissioners that virtually run the whole county, and what it ends up being that 2 votes can determine whatever goes on in your county.
Yeah.
The citizens got together and formed a petition and went through the petition process and got it put on the ballot to change our government to a charter-style government. Now we have 7 county council members.
Okay.
And a county executive similar to St. Louis County and St. Charles County.
What is the makeup of the county council right now as far as conservatives to libtards?
Well, the county council is conservative. We in total have 7 Republicans. Some of which,
fantastic!
7 Republicans on the county council. Some of them I wouldn't say are completely Republicans. We passed an illegal immigrant resolution here last year.
Let's talk about that.
And we had a couple of council members vote against that. So
we had
that's one of those things.
A big discussion with Joe Brazil and Mike Elam from the St. Charles County Council. And we asked them if they were going to wrestle, but I don't think they're going to wrestle.
No, they wouldn't.
That'd be fun to watch.
We tried to encourage it, but
we encourage wrestling. Oh, yeah. But they had a big disagreement about that. Can you explain what it is and why it is important?
Well, it's important because, we've got all kinds of issues with illegal immigrants coming into our state, our county, and our nation. In Jefferson County, we've had, and I'm sure you've talked to the sheriff about this before, we've had illegals try to be dropped off in Jefferson County, and we have to find a way to feed and clothe these people. If they come to Jefferson County, you got women and small children. It's a burden on our county and our county government and the rest of the society of Jefferson County. So this is an important issue that needed to be addressed, and we encouraged in our resolution that our state and our federal legislatures would act and get something done to fix our immigration problem in this country.
So you mentioned Sheriff. That's Dave Marshak, I guess you're talking about? Yeah,
yes.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what, Charlie? Every state's a border state.
Absolutely,
with this
100%.
administration.
Again, I want to say something about that. In fact, we're talking with people all the time now. They're saying that now that we've had millions of people crossing the border in every state, they're actually infiltrating. They're trying to get into military bases, for example, and they're getting caught. But these people, these military people, are saying it's happening almost twice a week. So the point is that when you have these regulations that you have to keep them out of certain towns, going from the county councils on up, it's so important.
Absolutely. I mean, it's our community. All politics start local. And the sheriff, get back to the sheriff. He's having an event on June 20th at the Fox C6 Service Center at 6 p.m. and he's having a border crisis meeting. So all of the public is invited to come to that. You have to contact the sheriff's office to get a RSVP part because it's important to our county. It costs the sheriff's department and all the emergency agencies funds and the county itself that we have to deal with these issues.
All right. So many things I want to say here. First of all, Sheriff Marshak is a semi-regular with Colombo and Katy.
Yeah.
And he was on yesterday for just the worst possible reason.
That's a terrible situation.
Which wasn't supposed to be. He was already scheduled to be on and talk about the event coming up.
Right.
And then there's a horrible, horrible thing down there. And the one kid was shot, the other kid was drowned. I don't want to talk about it. It was just very terrible. So I want to talk about Dave Marshak. Also, Ken has said since the beginning of this show that people coming across the border are military-aged men, right?
Yep.
How do we know who's a spy, who's a terrorist? This Chechnyan guy, illegal, who was shot, casing a neighborhood in North Carolina. Are they stupid in the administration? Are they just stupid?
Well, and they leave all these problems up to the local law enforcement, our local agencies to handle all this stuff. So we have our sheriff is doing an excellent job of trying to get the word out and trying to help the situation. But it's up to our federal legislatures to do something and act on this problem. It's been going on for far too long.
So since you guys passed the illegal immigrant thing, What has been the results from that? Are there some arrests or
No, we haven't had any real results from it. All it was a resolution stating that we want our legislators to act, and there was no force of law on it, but it was something that we felt that was necessary. We had a vote on it. The vote was 5-2. We had 2 council members vote against it. So it's just a statement, basically, is what it was.
Okay.
That Jefferson County is aware of what the problem is, and that we're looking at it, and we don't appreciate what's going on.
All the more to vote for it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just so ridiculous. So 7 Republicans on the I always want to say Saint, but you guys are just Jefferson County. 7 Republicans on the Jefferson County Council, clearly some what we would call rhinos, right? Republicans
say
in
that,
name
yes.
only, because while they're voting against things that would be conservative. I don't understand why somebody would run as a Republican if you're not going to show conservative values. Why bother?
Well, we also passed the SB 190, the tax relief for senior citizens. We put a moratorium on it that it would not go into effect until next year, and we also had a couple of council members vote against that also.
Okay. So what's the makeup? I know St. Louis County, out of St. Louis County, St. Charles County, and Jefferson County, Ken, we are lagging behind in St. Louis County as far as, Democrats, Republicans. What's the makeup of the population of Jefferson County?
We've got over 200,000 people in Jefferson County. Each council district has over 20,000 people in each council district. It's, I would say most of the people are very conservative people, whether you're Democrat or Republican. They want conservative small government. And that's what we try to achieve in Jefferson County is keep government to the level it needs to be at.
Right. So I'm sorry. I apologize. I started this conversation by saying, tell us about your history in Jefferson County Council. And I completely steered you the wrong way.
Yeah, that's all right.
Tell us about, because you were there, then you were gone, now you're back.
Yeah, it's been an interesting political career, if you want to call it that.
Colorful.
Okay?
Let's call it colorful.
Yeah, colorful. When the initiative petition came up and the election came up to get in charter government, the charter got established and there was an election for the new council members. And I thought, I was working at the time. I'm a retired machinist now. I was working a full-time job, and I thought, well, I'll put my name on the ballot. And there was the county had been completely democratically run for 75 years. And with that election cycle and the new charter government, we swept out all the Democrats except for a couple offices in Jefferson County. I think all our council members were Republican, and except for one. And I put my name on the ballot. I spent about $500 and I won.
That's not too bad.
It was incredible.
I'm kind of surprised that Jefferson County has, that many Democrat/liberal people in it. It seems like such a red county to me.
Well, look at St. Charles County. It's supposed to be all Republican there too, and you couldn't get the illegal immigrant resolution passed in St. Charles County.
Yeah.
So that must tell you something there too.
So the meetings. Oh, I'm sorry, Ken.
No, I was just going to say on that. The Democrats say that we're bad people. We think that Democrats just have bad ideas. So we think that diversity is good. To have that diverse opinion, it's just no one should be shoving it down someone's throat.
Not forced.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, we have a lot of very conservative Democrats in Jefferson County too. So, it's kind of a mixture. And like I said, we flipped the whole county 14 years ago. And there has to be a reason for that, because it was democratically held for umpteen years.
Yeah. So you are the chairman now.
Yes, sir.
Of the Jefferson County Council.
I've been a chairman 3 times. This is my 3rd term as chairman of the council.
Why did you leave the council? Because you were there a long time ago.
Well, it was a political thing.
Got it. Okay. That's all I got to say.
There was this in the Republican Party. Some of the Republicans didn't like the direction I was proceeding and as my seat on the county council, and they ran somebody against me, and I lost my first reelection bid by 4 votes.
Wow.
So
that's why voting is so important.
Absolutely.
So now you're back on. You're all the way up to chairman. Did you have any? Because the St. Louis County Council had some problems with protesters, pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist protesters trying to infiltrate the meetings. Did you guys have any problems?
No, we haven't had that so far in Jefferson County. We had some people come down and speak against the illegal immigrant resolution, but no protesters, nothing of that nature.
Are you enjoying your time on the Jefferson County Council?
It's a challenging position. I'm new to politics. I haven't, I've never served before I got this position, and it's been a real educational experience. And I would encourage anybody put their name on the ballot and get involved. That's how you're going to change things if you don't like the way things are.
You said it already, and it's true. And Ken and I talk about it all the time. Government starts local.
It does, yeah.
Starts with your municipality being a mayor,
school boards.
Oh my God,
we get involved in that every year when they have elections. As many places as we can. We haven't gotten down to Jefferson County, but I'm sure next time around we're going to try and get involved there as well.
Absolutely, yeah, we haven't. Boy, shame on us. Ken.
Yeah.
So the school boards, how are they doing?
We have. We just had a school board election, and it seems like they're doing okay. We had some new school board members on it. We had a big issue a year or so ago with the Fox School District where they were going for an enormous tax increase, and we had citizens of a regular citizens group got together, and they actually got a campaign put together, and they opposed it, and it got voted down. So, and this was for a big school tax increase.
Do you have any aspirations to go any further?
No, I really don't. This is where I live. I make my home there now, and I like my community, and this is my public service.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and being the chair is not an easy task.
Absolutely is not. It's like herding cats.
Hey, Vic, I was in a band for many years here in St. Louis, and one of our first band house, believe it or not, was down at, do you know where Hollywood Beach Road was or is? Down by Merrimack River.
Yeah, that's now a city park, I believe.
Well, it used to be a bunch of tower houses, the houses on stilts.
Right.
And our house was on like a 20-foot stilt setup.
Right.
And 2 months or 2 times out of the year, we'd have to row in to get our equipment out.
Yeah.
It was
flooding.
Yeah, it would flood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But when it was nice though, it was amazing. We got to play for boats going by, and they would actually back up on the Merrimack while we would be playing in our backyard. It was amazing.
A lot of that property got bought out, flood buyout property, and was in the city of Arnold. They bought a considerable portion of it and turned it into a city park. They'll eliminate that stuff.
Rock star.
He's
a cat.
A $200 a month house.
There you go.
So I'll be honest with you, and I've said this on the air before this show started, and before parents were being called criminals and terrorists at school board meetings, I never paid attention to a school board meeting. I couldn't tell you one person on one school board. I didn't even know what the school boards did. And now it's becoming so important. You know, people like Jane Pushkar, she's like our big hero, man. She's a mature woman, and she doesn't take any crap from anybody.
No,
you know?
Right.
And so when you talk about the St. Louis County Council, I've been watching them now closely than I ever did before. And Rita Days was the chairwoman for a while.
Yes, Miss Days.
And she would fly through these things so quick, you know, motion passed. Okay, all in favor? Say aye. No, motion passed. And Shalonda Webb, she can't get through one in the time that it took Rita Days to get through like 3 or 4, you know, and that makes the meeting just drag out. I mean, you got to make these things easy for people to watch.
Well, our councils run a little bit different than St. Louis County's council. Each one has different rules of procedure. And that was one of the things that we had to do when we went from commission government to charter government. We had to adopt new rules, how the county council will operate. And our bills are read a little bit differently, and our meeting is chaired by the county executive. So the county executive virtually controls the meeting and how fastly. Yes, he controls our meetings, and he controls on how fast things proceed in the meetings. There's always time for discussion amongst council members about the bills that are in front of us. And I'm always happy to answer any questions.
I bet you are.
About it. Absolutely.
Could you imagine Sam Page running a meeting?
Oh, no.
He couldn't even handle it.
No.
Couldn't even handle it.
Jefferson County has grown so fast over the last 20 years. It's amazing. Has that had an impact on your job, basically?
Oh, absolutely.
Like you?
The biggest issue in the county is land use, and we're going through the process of adopting a new master plan for development and how land use is going to be handled in Jefferson County for the next 20 years. And this is something that I've advocated for the last 4 years, and finally got it on the agenda to get moving forward. It's a lengthy process, but we're continuing to move forward with it.
All right, less than a minute left. What is the issue right now in Jefferson County that you're working on?
The main issue is the courthouse and jail issue that we have to look at, and the master plan. You know, that's going to be very important for the county, how it is developed and how things proceed the next 20 years.
Are the meetings streamed on the internet?
They are recorded. They're not streamed yet. We're working on new programs to update our system so that they're more user friendly, so more people can watch them. But they are recorded, and you can look at it. The meetings after the meetings are recorded and view them.
And are the meetings friendly to speakers? Because St. Louis County has just made it hard to go speak your mind.
Well, you're allowed a certain amount of time per our rules to speak your, your complaints or your opinions on things. We had a gentleman come forth last night speaking about some animal issues he had, and we're always welcome people to come speak.
Fantastic. Jefferson County chairperson of the council, Charles Groeteke, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, you, Charles.
Vic.
Thank you,
we'll
guys.
see you soon. Bye. And thank you for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
All right. We're going to hand out Trump and all.
Yes, we are.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Whoosh.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Mayela Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmostscholars.org. That's herzogmostscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
Are you even thinking about getting new windows? Tim Jones here to tell you need to call Window World. They're simply the best for less. 314-993-1800. One of only 2 window companies in the country that carry the coveted Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Carrying a lifetime warranty covering all parts, glass breakage, and labor. Incredibly durable, incredibly beautiful, incredibly thermally efficient. For the first time ever, Window World offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. Any questions? Free in-home estimate. 314-993-1800. 314-993-1800. WindowWorld.com. WindowWorld.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The jury in Donald Trump's criminal trial are now deliberating on the fate of the former president. Correspondent Julie Walker has this report.
Jurors in Donald Trump's hush money trial, who will decide his fate, have the option of convicting the former president on all 34 counts, acquitting him of all counts, or delivering a mixed verdict in which he is found guilty of some charges and not others. If they deadlock after several days of deliberations and are unable to reach a unanimous verdict, the judge may declare a mistrial. At the heart of the charges, reimbursements paid to his former lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen. Prosecutors say the reimbursements were falsely logged as legal expenses to hide the true nature of the transactions. At criminal court in Manhattan, I'm Julie Walker.
Also at townhall.com, after powerful storms in Texas on Tuesday, the potential for heavy rains, localized flash flooding, and severe weather continues today through Oklahoma and Texas. On the battlefront, Russia continues to hit Ukrainian towns and cities.
A 53-year-old man and a 13-year-old boy died on Tuesday as a result of a Russian aerial attack on Saydov in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine, according to the regional prosecutor's office. Paramedics and rescuers managed to pull a 73-year-old woman from a damaged house. She sustained multiple injuries, including a concussion. The airstrikes hit a residential area in the Provrovskaya district of the city at 9:30 p.m. local time, damaging at least 10 houses and a nearby shop, say local authorities. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
On Wall Street, stocks are lower. The Dow is losing 385 points. The NASDAQ 71 points in the red. More at townhall.com.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Dry weather until Friday evening at the earliest. So let's make the most out of the next couple of days. Mostly sunny skies today, and with low humidity, temperatures running a little cooler than normal. Yeah, this one's a keeper, up to about 78 for the afternoon high. Mainly clear tonight, almost cool as temperatures drop to 57 overnight. Mostly sunny Thursday as well, just a little warmer tomorrow, up to 81, still very nice. And again, no rain until Friday evening into Saturday morning. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
Tony Colombo here, along with Tim Jones for Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Rodney and Jen are the #1 home selling team in the area, and I could say that from personal experience. They sold our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible, which put us in a great position as we tried to find our perfect new home. And with help from the Wallners, that's exactly what we did. Christine and I couldn't be happier with our experience working with Rodney and Jen Wallner. And Tim, the numbers speak for themselves.
That's right, Tony. Everybody knows the Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. And if you're looking to sell your home, right now, they have so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. They're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois, so no matter where you are in the St. Louis region, you can put the Wallners experience and work ethic to work for you. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call Rodney and Jen Wallner now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner home selling team.
In the fast-paced world of digital marketing, making connections is a challenge for any business. But what if we told you there's a place where connections aren't just made, they're grown? Meet 2060 Digital, your premier Google partner and top-tier digital agency. We don't just follow trends, we set them. At 2060 Digital, we're not just another agency, we're your strategic partner. We dive deep into your challenges and develop solutions that drive measurable outcomes. Ready to elevate your digital presence with campaigns that connect? Google 2060 Digital today.
1949, the last time a Republican held the top post in St. Louis City. A gallon of milk was 84 cents, and streetcars ran down Grand Avenue. The city was booming. Unfortunately, St. Louis City streets are no longer the epicenter of family and business life. In the 80 years of Democrat control, our city has been on a steady decline. St. Louis City Republicans believe it is our duty to provide a different path forward. Learn more at stlouisrepublicans.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican Pat Curtis, Farber Treasurer.
Listen anytime.
It happens
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Everywhere.
Every day continues to bring more news.
With the News Talk STL app. Keep St. Louis's home for conservative talk with you wherever you go. Download the News Talk STL app in the App Store or at newstalkstl.com. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
So just wrapped the podcast, and I'm going to tell you, this is going to be one of the most bananas news days you've ever seen in a long time. And they're like rotten, stench-filled bananas with fruit flies around them. I mean, there's nothing good about this news cycle at all. Absolutely nothing. Zero. Hey, can you chuck this too? Sorry. The pen refill. Man, we are like lifting and shifting. We had a whole show planned, and I'm like, let's just chuck it and let's do this and that, because so much has happened just in the 10 minutes since I wrapped my last show. So the jury is now deliberating in the Alvin Bragg Twinkies Star Chamber trial up in New York. The case is obviously a legal, constitutional abomination, an ethical abomination, a moral abomination. We all know that. As the jury's deliberating, Donald Trump came out and wanted to make a few comments, which I think was a good idea. But folks, I'm going to play for you when we cut it some news coverage of the judge, if we even can call him that at this point. Jim, I think calling him judge is really, at this point, an ethical lapse on the part of people. This guy's no judge. This guy's an absolute authoritarian tyrant. He's not even an activist. He's beyond that. The jury instructions he gave before the jury deliberated are the kind of thing you wouldn't even hear out of the Soviet Union, because they wouldn't say that part out loud. You ever notice, like with the Soviet Union and communist countries, they call themselves like the Democratic Republic of, to make people believe there's some kind of majoritarian impulse to this government, that people wanted it. So they wouldn't even say that stuff. Soviets would hide this stuff. Not this judge. This judge is just outright like, that whole beyond a reasonable doubt on the charges. We don't need that. So it's okay. It's fine. Trump had some comments about this ridiculous trial. I don't even know, trial. Calling it a trial again is being generous. This thing's a total joke. Here's what he said just a few minutes ago before we came on the air. Check this out.
I would say, in listening to the charges from the judge, who's, as you know, very conflicted and corrupt, because of the confliction, very, very corrupt. Mother Teresa could not beat these charges. These charges are rigged. The whole thing is rigged. This is all because of Joe Biden.
Here, I'm going to play some audio on this coming up. Here's what he's talking about. Those comments were just a few minutes ago. If the Supreme Court, if there is a conviction, does not pull this thing immediately on massive due process violations, just go read Mark Levin's Twitter on this. Folks, forget, the country's gone. We're already 99% of the way towards being lit on fire now. That's it. It's irretrievable at that point. John Turley's reporting that, air quotes, judge, disgraceful activist commie Merchan, I had a little ad lib there, just delivered the coup de grace instructions. He said there's no need to agree on what occurred. There's no need to agree. You're currently litigating a man's freedom on a charge they made up. And the judge is like, there's no real need to agree on what occurred. He goes on. Commie Judge Merchan, they can disagree on what the crime was among the three choices. Thus, this means they could split 4, 4, and 4, and he will still treat the jury and the verdict as unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jim's. I don't know, Jim. Jim's asking. He's going. The Twitter is losing their minds. True Social's. People can't believe that this is the United States of America. This judge is a piece of human garbage. He is not even pretending anymore to apply any semblance of the law, ethics, or the Constitution. He has forfeited all of that. We will be following this live. Don't go anywhere. The jury is deliberating. The judge has given him today until 4:30. Folks, the longer this goes on, candidly, it's probably the better for Donald Trump, because if it was 12 TDS-infected prions in their brain, we hate Donald Trump, the quicker they come back, they've only been deliberating for 42 minutes right now. The quicker they come back, it's probably worse off for them. Now, I'm working on another cut. Hopefully, I'll have to you in one of the next segments. Jim and I, and just please, I'm just asking you as friends of the show, be a little bit patient with us today. I know the production for a national show, we try to keep everything tight, but when you're dealing with breaking news, it's a different animal, folks. Not everything's going to be a scripted out show with bullet points here. We're watching it for you because you all are busy. I always tell you, I have a fake job. I get to watch the news for a living. You all have real jobs. So just be a little bit patient with us as we cut stuff. But Jim's got a cut. We'll play it for you coming up. It's Andy McCarthy, a very good legal analyst, whether you like him or not. I do. He's an old friend of mine. We don't agree on everything, but he's a very smart lawyer. Andy McCarthy talking about the judge's instructions, which were so incredible to hear that it's stunning that even a commie like Judge Merchan would air them out loud. Just to show you, though, there's a diversification of voices, a diversified group of voices out there, even on left-wing crazy commie outlets like CNN, that understand the legal damage being done by this ridiculous case and any of the possible outcomes. Any. Folks, I'm serious. Even if Donald Trump is unanimously acquitted, this case should have never been there in the first place. You understand? That's the outcome I want, but the damage has already been done. Here's a CNN legal analyst, Randy Zellen. Jim, cut one if you would. Talking about how this Twinkies prosecution, Alvin Bragg, how there may be some trouble here because contrary to what Merchan just gave in these ridiculous jury instructions, like you don't all have to agree and all this other stuff, that's not how the law actually works. That I'm explaining this to a judge is bizarre. Every element of the crime has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. If I am charging you, say I was when I was back doing bank fraud cases. Bank fraud cases have very specific elements. Some may include specific intent or this. You have to prove every single one. You can't have one outstanding that's a flyer. That's not the way this works. Here's a CNN analyst explaining how that's kind of a weakness in this case. Check this out.
Andy, what Michael's getting at is the burden of proof is an important one to remind everyone. It's on the prosecution, right? They need to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Donald Trump broke the law. And you think, after listening to all of this, you think they fell short. How?
They fell way short because let's start with reasonable doubt. What is reasonable doubt? And it's not simply a doubt based upon reason. Anytime a human being needs to make an important decision in life, if you have enough information, for example, doctor says you need open heart surgery. Doc, go ahead and schedule. I don't have a reasonable doubt. Conversely, if I say, I appreciate it, but I need a second opinion, I need more information, that is having a reasonable doubt. There is reasonable doubt all over this case.
Again, folks, CNN. He's not wrong. It's one of the better explanations I actually heard yesterday about one of the weaknesses to this case, one of the key weaknesses. You know what it is? There's no crime. Forget about the elements of a crime. There's no crime at all. I want you to understand what Merchan's trying to do through his jury instructions. He's trying to give this, bear with me here, because this is tough to explain. But it's not tough to explain because I'm stupid or I don't understand this, or it's tough to explain because the Democrats invented a new legal theory, which they're having a difficult time explaining. And so are media people because it's new, novel, never been done before, makes no sense. The charge Trump was initially tried with that they were going to pass on was the falsification of the business records charge. That has a statute of limitations on it. It has since passed, meaning the government can't charge anymore that crime. The only way to get that waived is the advancement of another felony. They didn't have another felony, so they invented one. They said Donald Trump tried to steal the election by paying off this woman through this falsified business record. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're having a hard time getting your arms around that, so is everyone else. That's why Judge Merchan issued these ridiculous communist-style, Gestapo-like jury instructions saying, well, you all don't need to agree basically on the predicate crime because there isn't one. The Federal Elections Commission, Donald Trump was running in a federal race. They have jurisdiction. The presidency, obviously a federal race. He wasn't running for the governorship of New York. Has already passed on prosecuting this payment as an election payment because it wasn't. You realize John Edwards, a Democrat who ran for president and vice president, was charged with the exact opposite crime? What do you mean? He was charged for taking campaign money and paying off this lady he was having a thing with. So so how is the opposite of crime? Not taking campaign. The answer is nobody knows. They just made it up. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to try to get some of that audio ready for you because this jury instructions thing, folks, if this is allowed to stand, we are in a not so brave new world, and Aldous Huxley's going to have to write another sequel to this book because this is really getting dangerous right now, what's going on. They are just inventing this as they go along. We'll be right back.
Bongino.
Can your savings weather an economic storm? Think about what you put away for the future. Inflation can render cash worthless. Real estate can crash like in 2008. Economies built on a mountain of debt can fall like a house of cards. There are very few physical assets you can invest that can stand the test of time. Gold has withstood as a valued form of money for millennia. That's why people are flocking to it now and why Birch Gold, the company I buy my gold from, is busier than ever. Through a little-known tax loophole, Birch Gold lets you convert a retirement account into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. And the best part, doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. To learn more, text Bongino to 989898 and claim your free info kit on gold. Let me ask you this again. Can your IRA or 401k weather an economic storm? If not, call the people I trust, Birch Gold. Text Bongino to 989898 and secure your savings today. Message and data rates apply.
Dan Bongino.
The left, for months now,
One by one,
have been begging for a civil war.
every caller gets their say.
We got to stop and not put these officers in situations where they feel like they have to overreact.
And whether you agree
We have to assume some responsibility because I'm a black man.
or disagree,
I think you're politically wrong.
I do not need athletes to tell me.
you're invited to join the conversation.
Thank you for canceling all your games. Now I get it.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor. Connor Roofing is now a two-time winner of the National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction for roofing, storm damage restoration, siding, gutters, both residential and commercial. Please visit ConnorRoofing.com for an estimate. And remember, you can count on Connor.
No matter how big the event, Capriotti's can take care of all of your business or personal catering needs. With party trays, box lunches, a meatball bar, shareable salads, plus desserts and sides. Easy ordering is available via the Capriotti's app. Check it all out at capriottis.com.
Columbo and Katie.
Superintendent of the New Orleans Police Department was speaking to the media this week, and she said the rats are eating our marijuana. They're all high. The rats get in to the evidence rooms and they get into the drugs.
They toke it up. They roll themselves a bleeding.
I think they're eating it. I don't think if they're in there.
Think that they're rolling.
If they're in there with papers.
Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
Missouri Wild Alchemy is a local and family-owned business dedicated to providing consumers with high-quality cannabis and education. They strive to make customers feel comfortable and to help curtail the stigma of cannabis use by having a professional and well-educated staff. They're proud to carry products from several Missouri cultivators and manufacturers. Missouri Wild Alchemy, now serving recreational customers 21 and above, as well as patients. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or visit MissouriWild.com. That's MissouriWild.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. Doug and Safe Money Radio is on 3 times every weekend, but in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com or call 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
With so much happening.
I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help.
So much to talk about.
Our education secretary flubbing one of Ronald Reagan's iconic lines.
9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
You never want to miss a moment.
There's nothing about this that shows anything good about Hamas.
On air, online, and always on your smart device.
The vast majority of those that were taken captive on that day are still there.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
People can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The most informative 3 hours you'll have all day. The Dan Bongino Show.
Please don't go anywhere today. We are going to have, obviously, an insane news day. The jury still deliberating. Of course, live, so we're on top of this. They've been deliberating now for about 55 minutes, a little under an hour. I'm just telling you from my opinion, the legal system. I'm not an attorney. I don't claim to be, but got a good decade of experience in it. In a case like this, the longer they stay out, the better. My humble opinion, what's probably happening in that room right now, at least from what I've read from a number of reports out there, is there's at least one juror, at least one who seems sympathetic to the Constitution. That's perception. They don't talk to jurors. They don't interact with the media, so we don't really know. But based on these ridiculous jury instructions from Judge Merchan, I think there's at least one skeptic in there. And my guess is the anti-Trump crowd is trying to talk him into convicting Donald Trump on these charges, even though obviously it's a fabricated Star Chamber case. Here is a segment from Fox. This is important, recorded just a little bit ago. Andy McCarthy, who's a strong legal analyst, talking about these absurd jury instructions where Judge Merchan seems to be implying that unanimity isn't needed. Listen to this.
Well, I can interpret it, but I can't, bring it into the line with the United States Constitution. But here we go. What's supposed to happen in a criminal trial is a prosecutor has to prove every element of an offense beyond a reasonable doubt. So every crime, which is a creature of some statute, has different elements. One is a mental element, and then there are the things that you have to do to commit the crime. So like with bank robbery, you have to, take money by force from a financial institution and do it intentionally. And those are the things the prosecutor has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. What this judge is telling this jury in this kind of make it up as you go along New York State prosecution of federal law is that when they get to the end of the rainbow and we get to the elements of the offense, the jury doesn't have to be in agreement on what it is exactly that Trump did or what he was trying to commit or conceal when he allegedly falsified his business records. So they're going to give the jury a menu of choices and tell the jury that some of them may believe that this was the criminal objective. Some of them may believe something else was, but that they don't have to be unanimous on that. I actually think that's pretty outrageous, but in this case, I'm not sure it makes the top 10 of outrageous.
No, it doesn't make the top 10. It doesn't. And the thing is, I don't think the judge cares. Folks, I don't think he cares. Why are we even calling this guy a judge? I don't think Merchan cares at all. You may be thinking to yourself, if you're relatively new to politics, you may be saying to yourself, nah, he cares. He's a judge. They swore to uphold an oath. Folks, that oath is an embarrassment to this guy. They don't care about the Constitution. They're embarrassed by it. Commies never cared about the Constitution. Matter of fact, they hate it. You know what? By the way, I don't need any lectures from dumbass liberals out there. I took an oath to protect two Democratic presidents and a Republican one in my prior line of work, and I took that oath seriously. I did my job, and I did my job well, and I never once thought about politics. This absolute zero on the bench in New York with these ridiculous jury instructions that he seems to have pulled out of like a box of animal crackers. Is this guy serious? He has shown right now he appears to care about one thing and one thing only. some book deal or contributorship when he's done with this trial, and that's it. The idea that he is going to be the legal enforcer of justice in a serious trial that has a man's freedom at stake, he's never considered that one time. And I want you to consider this as well. Even a bunch of left-wing outlets have been reporting this morning that apparently there's one juror who appears, and I'm encouraging you not to jump the gun on this, but at least appears to be sympathetic to the case that this trial is absolute garbage and a sham and there's no real crime here. We only need one. I think Judge Merchan may know that, and the way he's trying to sliver his way around this is by giving these deliberately misleading jury instructions that seem to imply unanimity is not necessary, when in fact that's not the case at all. Folks, the verdict has to be unanimous. As I played for you before, even from the CNN analyst, every element of every crime charged has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Donald Trump's defense team, I want you to understand, has no obligation whatsoever to do anything. They're obviously going to lodge a defense, but they don't have to do anything. They can sit back and watch the government flail, because the government has to prove something happened to an innocent person, that this innocent person did something. The person isn't treated as guilty and then has to prove they're innocent. That's not the way this works. Are you feeling the impact of the recent changes in the timeshare industry? My friends at Lone Star Transfer are the only company I trust to help you. For over a decade, they've successfully helped over 20,000 owners get out. With an A+ rating at the BBB and thousands of 5-star reviews, customer service is their priority. For a free consultation and a guaranteed solution, call 844-284-4864. That's 844-284-4864 or LoneStarTransfer.com.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Dan Bongino.
Are you?
This is an SRN News special report. I'm John Scott. In New York, jury deliberations in Donald Trump's criminal trial have begun following the delivery of jury instructions by the judge and a full day of closing arguments. The jury of 7 men and 5 women sent to a private room to begin weighing a verdict in the first criminal trial of a former U.S. president. Outside the courthouse, after deliberations got underway, Mr. Trump says he's looking forward to continuing his campaign no matter what the outcome of the trial may be.
We're going to bring back our nation November 5th. Remember, the most important day in the history of our country. In the meantime, this trial is rigged.
Prosecutors say the former president falsified internal business records. He has denied any wrongdoing and pleaded not guilty to all 34 felony counts. This has been an SRN News special report. I'm John Scott.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
I think you're a little
confused.
News, analysis, opinion.
I've got something to say and I can't hold it any longer.
101.9 and 94.1.
You won't hear the truth anywhere but here. NewstalkSTL.
NewstalkSTL.
Hi, it's Dr. Randy Tobler, along with daughter Sammy Tobler-Gregory, a team member here at our family-owned Body of Health Direct Primary Care Practice. Sammy, what are patients telling you about their experience at Body of Health?
I can't tell you how many patients I've had come to me and tell me they just so appreciate getting to sit across the table with their doctor and chat about whatever's going on with their healthcare needs for however long they need.
Want to learn more about healthcare the way it ought to be? Schedule a discovery call at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com.
Stand and Fight with Nick Schroer.
Hey everyone, this is Nick Schroer from Stand and Fight every Sunday 8 to 10 p.m. If you need tree removal, storm damage, repairs to trees, tree trimming, pruning, if your bushes are out of control, call River City Tree Service. Free quotes right now, 314-270-8071, 314-270-8071. Professional tree services performed by ISA certified arborists. Request your free quote at rivercitytreeservice.com.
Hey, Colombo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
Hey, St. Louis, my name is Rob Carter. If you are sick and tired of the corporate news bubble, if you like unedited information free from corporate money, if you want straight talk with no script, join me weeknights from 8 to 10 p.m. on The Rob Carter Show.
Live and local, weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
Any questions? Call 8444-the-USA to get the answers. 844-484-3872. The Dan Bongino Show.
You know, a listener just reached out to me on X and said, Dan, or it was Facebook, I'm sorry, doesn't really matter, but and said, Dan, do you think they have something on Judge Merchan? And he answered, no. Why would they even need something? He's obviously a devout leftist. I mean, look at him, look at his family, look who they donate to, look at who they generate revenue from. I'm not going to make an allegation I can't back up, but could they? Well, anything's possible. But honestly, folks, these leftists, you don't need something of. This is just what they do. Their default position is the abuse of power. Understand the modern tyrant and authoritarian on the left that believes in the power of these organized bodies, government and bureaucracy over you to subjugate you. They don't need any kind of a license or reason to do what they do outside of their guiding ideology. That is why they do what they do. It's the same reason you fight for good things rather than bad things. I mean, it's not a He-Man Skeletor thing. It's not that simple. But the ideology you fight for, individual liberty and freedom, where this Constitution, enshrines God-given, big R rights, you fight for that because you believe in it. These people believe in malicious, pernicious stuff, but they don't require anything else. This judge has been a disgrace. This case should have been thrown out. It should have never even made it into court. It obviously matters what the verdict is, but the destruction to our legal system, faith in it, it's already done. It's done. Even if it's a full acquittal. Jury's been deliberating over an hour now. We're working on a series of guests. I got Sean Duffy coming up in about an hour and a half. Sean was a prosecutor. He's obviously a host on Fox now. He's also a good friend. He's coming up at 2 o'clock. We're working on some more guests for you. We're going to keep track of this trial. Folks, I want you to keep an eye out for this because you're going to see a pivot coming up. I addressed it a little bit yesterday on the show. You're going to see a messaging pivot coming up. The Biden team had hoped to win the election based on the Bidenomics message. Look, we rescued you from this COVID horror. Look how great the economy is. It's fallen completely flat. It's been a disaster. They're now shifting to this police state thing where shockingly their message going forward is going to be Trump will be worse. So accept the police state we're jamming down your throat because we're going to stop Hitler Stalin, whatever, this fascist Donald Trump. You're seeing it now. Them showing up yesterday at the courthouse at 10:15 was not an accident. It is, and it was so great to see Laura Ingraham last night on her show. She couldn't do her show. She got caught in some kind of airline delay incident. Judge Janine was filling in, and Laura called in her own show. And she brought up the point we brought up yesterday. I'm not suggesting she took it from us. It's an obvious point. I just want to be clear on that. But the point we brought up yesterday, that they're all in on the police state now, that they're actually using weaponized government as a message and not running from it anymore, should be very telling to people. They've given up on any kind of other, what they think is winning message. The only thing they think they can do now is to go back to the January 6th MAGA terrorists. We're going to stop them by any means necessary. That's why they were out there yesterday. But something else happened yesterday. It should be a clear indicator of the messaging shift. Twinkies, Alvin Bragg, was in court yesterday. Folks, it is so transparently obvious. They are trying to intimidate the jury right now with a litany of press conferences and a Bragg showing up and all this. They are going to make an example out of anyone that does not agree to convict Donald Trump and he's made up fabricated charges. You even had a member of the media, Ken Vogel, tweet this out. I don't know if he deleted it or not. Someone said he did. But if Trump gets a hung jury because of one juror, Resistance Twitter is going to turn that person into Steve Bartman on steroids. What do you think they're writing this up for? You've got Karine Jean-Pierre at press conferences. They still can't say they won't pack the Supreme Court. That's an intimidation tactic to the Supreme Court to warn them off this case. The Judge Alito fake flag controversy. What do you think that's about? A flag? It's not about a flag. That's a non-story. It's a message being sent to the Supreme Court. Hey, folks, guys, ladies, we're watching. If you rescue Trump from this legal abomination and due process violation in New York, we're coming after you next. Mark Levin has a brilliant Twitter thread on just this, how the Supreme Court has every authority right now to intervene in this case if there's a conviction. This has been an obvious due process violation, and they should do it immediately. Why do you think the attacks on the Supreme Court have doubled down? And let me give you a little inside baseball here, too. All of this is straight up police state intimidation. If you read the Journal and elsewhere, there's apparently a internal fight going on in the Democrat Senate. Sheldon Whitehouse and Dick Durbin, there's apparently a little Democrat on Democrat conflict going on. Whitehouse wants to be the lead guy in one of these committees. He thinks Durbin's being too soft in the Supreme Court. That's why you see Dick Durbin and others going after Alito right now, Sam Alito, for this ridiculous fake flag controversy. If you haven't read it, folks, I hate to even tell you about it because it's made up. Sam Alito's wife flew a flag outside the house upside down. So? The hell does that have to do with anything? Judge Merchan's daughter is literally a fundraiser for the Democrats. He's the judge on the case. The Democrats love that. You tell them to jam that right up their caboose, folks. I don't have any time for liberal hypocrite frauds right now. They are all in on intimidation right now in the police state. It's not subtle. Get ready for this moving forward. Jim, if you would, cut to. This is Caroline Levitt, if you don't know her. She's a very good spokesperson for the Donald Trump campaign. She does a really good job. She was out in front of the courthouse yesterday, and she lit these idiots on fire. But pay close attention because she's talking about exactly what I just mentioned. Alvin Bragg was not in court yesterday by accident, folks. None of this is an accident. It's all being done deliberately to send a message. It's not a mistake. Listen to this.
What you just heard from is a desperate and failing and pathetic campaign who knows that they are losing. Joe Biden's sending his campaign outside of this criminal courthouse. It is a full-blown concession that this trial is a witch hunt that comes from the top, comes from Joe Biden, and he is using a far-left district attorney in this city, Alvin Bragg. This case would have been laughed out of any other courtroom in America. Legal scholars on both sides of the aisle, even liberal legal scholars, agree there is no crime, there is no case. But Joe Biden knew he could use Alvin Bragg, who is sitting in that courthouse today, wasting away the tax dollars of the hardworking people of this city to go after Joe Biden's political opposition.
She's not wrong. Bragg is in there for a reason, folks. It's not because they were giving away free ho-hos. Or maybe, I don't know. But who knows with this guy? He's in there for a reason. They're trying to intimidate the jury. Watch the media coverage today on left-wing channels. They're trying to send a winky, winky, nod, nod message to the jury. You better do what we tell you. What do you think happened with De Niro yesterday? De Niro was out there because they wanted to hide. Here, they were jealous that the Trump team was taking my advice and others. I'm not the only one. That the Trump team was using that series of open mics outside the court. Remember we discussed this? So the Biden team thought, oh, well, it's a great idea. You know what? We'll take advantage of that, too, and do our own press conference. Well, it ended like this. Jim, cut 3. Check this out.
You are gangsters. You are gangsters. You're washed up. You're a little punk. You're salty. You're a nobody.
That's what you want on TV? Folks, why was this such a damaging political moment? It's not the cursing. It's not De Niro cursing. People curse. Nobody cares. That's not why this was damaging. What's one of the lessons I always put out there on the show? The most destructive political narratives, one you better get ahead of right away. There are some you can just ignore. Are narratives or media stories that change your pre-existing notion of who a candidate is. Why was the Bob De Niro meltdown with that ridiculous, absurd press conference yesterday such a mess for Team Biden? Because, folks, Team Biden is running to be the normalcy guy. Oh, look, we're restoring sanity back from the chaotic days of the Trump team. Yet it's strange. Jim, you saw it. You've got this orderly group of Trump people that go outside and speak eloquently about this abomination of a case, highlight all the inadequacies of it. And then you've got Biden shows up, the sanity, non-chaos, bringing normalcy back. And Bob De Niro's like, oh, you mother, screaming like a lunatic. Like someone jacked him up with like some Adderall or something before this thing. Screaming at a bunch of random people on a New York street, you're a gangster. This was absolute buffoonery. Even left-wing networks were like, whose stupid idea was this? Here's a little De Niro, in case you missed this, by the way. This was him on Bill Maher a while back. I want you to notice the projection here. De Niro shows up in court yesterday, this absolute life loser, while Donald Trump's in court, not De Niro, being prosecuted by a fake crime by a fake judge with a fake DA in a Democrat state, in a Democrat city, by a Democrat jury in a Democrat county of New York. And Bob De Niro's pretending he's the one. Listen to him on Bill Maher with the victim complex, engaging in an act of projection. Check this out.
If he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll come looking for me. There'll be things that happen that none of us can imagine. That's what happens in that kind of a dictatorship, which is what he says. Let's believe him. Take him at his word.
Folks, they do this all the time. This is an act of projection. I call it the dipsy-do flipperoo. And the Democrats do something and then flip it around and pretend you're doing it. It's some kind of weird defense mechanism they engage in to avoid accountability for what they know they're up to, the destruction of democracy. They do it all the time. This case has been a legal abomination. And the fact that we are hoping and praying that the story I saw this morning, there was one, I think it was in Politico Playbook, which is a left-wing outlet, but it is there. They were talking about this one juror who appears sympathetic to the defense Trump team's argument. The fact that we're relying on this one juror to essentially save democracy at this point, Jim's shaking his head. He can't believe, like, this is insane, folks. That we're here right now is insanity. The destruction's already been done, no matter what the outcome is. And I'm going to tell you this. Trump wins regardless. And no, that is not some defense mechanism. It is absolutely true. A conviction, our legal system that the Democrats destroyed is finished. Faith in it won't be reestablished until Republicans and real conservatives take back control and clean this mess up. If there's a hung jury, he wins. If Trump's acquitted, he wins. Either way, I've said this over and over again, either way, Donald Trump wins. On the other side of this, I want to play this cut from a legal analyst where the levels of legal abomination in this case are so layered that I don't see how this doesn't become reversible if he's acquitted. Again, it's sad we're even here. We shouldn't be here, but we're stuck with what we're stuck with because we're dealing with tyrants. More on that coming up next. And one quick thing, Sergeant. What happens if Donald Trump is jailed? I got to tell you, for the first time in a long time, I thought I had the answer to this because I had some faith in people running the entity protecting him. Not so much anymore. More coming up next. We'll be right back.
Bongino.
Out of all the things we do to maintain and protect our homes, getting up on a ladder to clean out the gutters is the last thing anyone wants to do. If you're tired of unclogging gutters, it's time to upgrade to a permanent solution with Leaf Filter. Right now, you can save up to 30% off your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/Bongino. Now, when it comes to maintenance around the house, I want the most efficient solution possible while never losing sight of the old adage, you get what you pay for. So dependability and follow-through are musts, especially when it comes to keeping gutters maintained properly. An investment in Leaf Filter is an investment engineered to protect your whole home. By maintaining your gutters, you protect your home from flooding, roof damage, rotting siding, foundation issues, and more. Protect your home and never clean out gutters again with Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system. Schedule your free inspection and get up to 30% off your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/Bongino. That's a free inspection and up to 30% off at leaffilter.com/Bongino, LEAF. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior and military discount, 1 discount per household.
Dan Bongino.
Subscribe and watch your favorite News Talk STL shows. Mike Ferguson in the morning, The Vic Porcelli Show, Columbo and Katie, Jones and Arps. Webcam streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble. Subscribe and watch News Talk STL.
Springtime in St. Louis, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Classic Kicks Country is streaming now. Hear all your new country favorites from the 90s. I should have been a cowboy. Streaming as it happened in the 90s. Classic Kicks.
Let's go, girls.
Download the Classic Kicks app from the App Store. Online at ClassicKicks.com. I'll go back. Or enable the Classic Kicks skill on Alexa.
I love the station.
90s new country streaming now.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Columbo and Katie.
Now that the legislative session is in the rearview mirror, the discussion in Missouri politics switches to the upcoming elections. We'll get the latest Wednesday from Rodney Boyd at 2:20. Then we'll open closest cabinet at 3:05.
Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
America, land of the free, home of the Dan Bongino Show.
Folks, bear with me today. I don't do a lot of guests because I just like talking to myself. Just be straight. But today is an exception. It is one of the biggest news days in decades, and that's not intended to be an exaggeration for a fact. If we get a verdict today, this will be the equivalent of when Jim and I were growing up, when everybody stopped to watch the OJ trial and all this. I remember where I was. That was in Dr. Shu's office in Jamaica, getting evaluated for a meniscus tear, and everybody just stopped and watched. I don't even think the doctor was still seeing patients anymore. They were like, "Oh, come on, let's watch this." With the rabbit ears. Remember the rabbit ears TV, Jim? Oh, man, it was a trip. So listen, if and when a verdict comes down, I will, of course, we will go right to it. They are still deliberating. The jury. It's been well over an hour now. The longer, I think, the better. Let's not rush this thing. It's only the most pivotal decision we've seen in the legal system for a long time. We've got Kash Patel coming up later. We've got Sean Duffy coming up later. Two people with deep experience in the legal system. We're working on some more guests now. So stay tuned. We got a big show. Hey, another day, another breaking news story buried. They'd rather talk about anything else than what's really going on. It's not because they don't know what's happening. The pundits and talking heads just don't want you paying attention to the real stories. You may have to look behind the headlines for them. And it just seems like the truth's being covered up. Prepare for what will come next with My Patriot Supply. Since 2008, My Patriot Supply has helped millions of Americans get ready for the worst. Today, their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits are flying off the shelves. Get yours right now at mypatriotsupply.com. The food kits offer over 2,000 calories a day, plus with ultra-durable 4-layer packaging that lasts up to 25 years in storage. That's a long time. Order all of the kits you need for $200 off, free shipping included. You've been warned about what could happen. Don't live in fear, though. Help take back control of your future, because it isn't just food, it's freedom. Stock up on these food kits at mypatriotsupply.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
Dan Bongino.
Okay,